Yes. I wish I could be.
Yate Abime, good morning. I'd like to call this meeting of the Arizona State Transportation Board to order. And I'd like to ask Member Peshakai at this time to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Karen, can you please call the roll?
Chairman Maxwell,
Present.
Chairman Howard, or Vice Chair Howard, Board Member Elkers,
Present.
Board Member Peshlakai. Here. Board Member Bracker,
Present.
Board Member Giles. Here. Board Member Coleman.
Present.
Board Member Hermosillo. Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum, you may proceed.
Okay, thank you. I don't know, did I hear that Member Hermosillo's online?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I think she is. So everybody's aware, Chairman, or Member and Mayor Hermosillo has not yet been through confirmation, and so she's today will not be able to participate with comments or votes. But I appreciate you joining the meeting still to make sure that you hear the conversation, hear the words that are involved. So Mayor Hermosillo, I greatly appreciate you joining us today. Okay, thank you. We might want to work on the volume for those online just when we get to the point where we do the call of the audience. So first off, I want to say thank you everybody for making it and coming up. It's always great to get out to some of the parts of the state that we don't always get a chance to see. So I'm really appreciative of the turnout we have here at the board in person and for all those who made the drive up. First time I've ever been in the city of Cameron, and I appreciate the opportunity to come out onto the Navajo Nation and see the challenges that is faced. One thing we learn all the time as members of this board is the challenges throughout the state of Arizona. It's a big, incredible place to live. Multiple levels of diversity with not only the people who make up the residents and the members of the state, but also in the environment and the lands and all the things. Flying up today, this morning, Member Bracker and I flew up as the only pilot on the State Transportation Board. I try to fly up to some of these meetings to see how things are at the airports, and it went smooth as silk again, and came up to Flagstaff until I typed in Cameron chapter. And all of a sudden, I thought we were going to be 10 minutes late. As it turned out, we really weren't going to the chapter. We're coming to the chapter house, so it worked out fine. But it's always a great experience, and I'd ask all board members to make sure we're using the mics, because that's the only way we're going to get picked up on the recording as well as heard in the room. And Member Peshakai, I don't know if you've got any opening comments. This is your district. Any comments you'd like to make before I open it up to any other board members?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Yat e benish e dosh de nashas twizanish taskent eke kehat pa ahi khaiki di etkin nasja ba nahat benya khay. I want to say thank you to all the regional and local leaders that are here. I want to say thank you to my Cameron relatives, because I am from Cameron. I just rolled out of bed, live less than a mile from here. It's so nice not to have to do an 8-hour drive overnight somewhere and another 8-hour drive later. So, but thank you so very much. Then I also want to share give my appreciation to my colleagues here on the State Transportation Board for coming out here. I thought I was going to be the only one sitting in here and have the video camera just right on me. But we're here to be long-term planning And I appreciate everybody here that has come out, and you will see this is how they say the sausage is made. This is long-term planning, and we just had a great event here at the Cameron Bridge where we got it named Navajo Coat Talker Jimmy Preston Memorial Bridge. And for those of you that know that sign came down, there was a glitch with that, and they are working to reprint that whole sign. So I don't know what it was. I got the spelling right. That's all I know. Thank you.
Any other members want to make any comments? All right, with that, Floyd, can you please read the title 6 of the Civil Rights Act of 1964?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Pursuant to Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Americans with Disability Act, the Arizona State Transportation Board and ADOT do not discriminate on the basis of race, color, national origin, or disability. No person will be excluded from participation and be denied the benefit of or be otherwise subjected to discrimination under any Arizona State Transportation Board or ADOT program or activity. To assist in measuring the public's participation, we ask each individual to please complete an online self-identification survey, and the link to that survey is on the agenda. For those in person, please fill out a survey card located at the entrance to the meeting room and leave the cards there. We will pick them up after the meeting. By completing this voluntary survey, ADOT will be able to determine who attends its public meetings and how the department can improve participation. The survey will also help ADOT fulfill federal reporting requirements. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Floyd. At this time, we'll start the call to the audience. We have 31 folks that are willing to speak. This is, I tell you, sometimes when you find out how much people really care about the communities when you get out and about, and obviously where we stand in the 5-year plan, there's going to be a lot of conversation. You're each authorized up to 3 minutes to speak. You're more than welcome to take the full 3 minutes. If you know your comments have been made, or you can reflect some of that to other speakers and you can give us back some of that time, that's greatly appreciated, but we do want to hear from each and every one of you on your voices. We're going to start with the people who are in person, and after all the in-person speakers have spoken, we will then go to those on WebEx. So those of you on WebEx, could please make sure you remain muted at this time, and when your name is called, can you indicate your presence by virtually raising your hand using your phone keypad or through the WebEx application. The WebEx host will then guide you through the process of unmuting, and once you begin speaking, your 3 minutes will begin. So let's start with the folks that are here in person today, and I'll start with Judy Begay, Coconino County Supervisor, District 4.
Good morning. Is it on? Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Cameron. My name is Judy Begay. Originally from Comine Mesa, and I'm here today to serve as a vice chair of Metro Plan. I'm a vice chair of the Metro Plan, and then I am here today to request that you place Metro Plan's priority projects on the state highway system, the US 180 improvements in your 5-year construction program. This project will make it easier for our communities to get home safely on one of our highest crash roadways. From 2018 to 2022, ADOT, along partners from 9 agencies, conducted a corridor master plan study to identify improvements of US 180. This request is to implement the findings of that effort. There are currently no sidewalks leading to schools, no signalized crossing from residential areas to those schools on the other side of the road. In fact, there are no signalized crossings for more than 3 miles in this urban area of Flagstaff. Bike lanes are not continuous despite high recreational use of this corridor. The City of Flagstaff says US 180 roadway conditions are one of its top complaints. Metro Plans Committee, Coconino County members are Coconino County, City of Flagstaff, Mountain Line, and NAU. Recognize the limited funding the state has for projects. For this reason, we held a workshop to prioritize our #1 need on the state highway system so that we could clearly communicate it and help you understand what the community's highest need is to prioritize your limited resources. The partners unanimously voted for this project as our #1 need. The city is ready to partner with ADOT to make improvements a reality and is advancing scoping and design through a Transportation Alternative Program Award. MetroPlan and its partners are asking ADOT to step up to finish implementing the US 180 master plan for an estimated of $5.6 million. The project has been in a 5-year program, but was later removed. We urge that you do another 180 to include the US 180 project in 2027 to 2031 5-year program. Thank you very much for listening to me, and I greatly appreciate and welcome again, and thank you for all you do.
Thank you, Supervisor McGay. Joe Skidmore, President of the Big Park Council.
Thank you, board members. I'll try to be short physically and on time. I'm the president of Big Park Council. Big Park Council is a 501c3 that represents the 6,100 plus citizens of the village of Oak Creek. The village is the gateway to Sedona. We're 6 miles south of Sedona, between I-17 and Sedona, and that's the issue today. We have been asking for some time for an upgrade of that interchange, I-17 and 179, that really serves as a gateway to Sedona, which is the second most visited tourist location in Arizona behind Grand Canyon. So it sees a lot of traffic. We've seen multiple fatal crashes at that site over the years. It has been on the 5-year plan previously and dropped off. So we're just here to voice our opinion that it should be back on the plan for improvement. It was designed and built in the 60s. It has some serious issues with sight lines and grades. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Skidmore. Mayor Nancy Smith from the City of Maricopa.
Good morning, and thank you very much, Chair and board members, for the opportunity to speak. Member Pescakai, I'm here because I'm thrilled about what's on your agenda today, as you can well imagine. For the new board members, let me take you back a year from this month of May. A year ago in Bullhead City, the State Route 347 project was not on the 5-year plan. We were in the illustrative section of the 5-year plan, but definitely not fully funded and definitely not well on our way in May of 2025. And here we are 1 year later. I want you all to know and understand how important your role has been to the City of Maricopa. Our residents are excited to get this project started. You currently have two elements on your agenda today. One is for phase 1 of the CMAR and one is for the right-of-way at Riggs Road. And so we're excited to see that. We're excited. We understand that construction will start in late June. We're hoping to have a groundbreaking. We would love for you to be there. We'll keep you posted. But thank you so much for all that you've done, because I think miracles have happened, and I know it was a partnership between the county, between the State Board Transportation, State Transportation Board, between the City of Maricopa, between MAG, between GRIC, Gila River Indian Community, so many partners, and such a great success. And I'm excited to be here today to celebrate that, and excited for those 2 agenda items that are on your agenda today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Smith. Shanna Yazzie, Cameron Chapter Vice President.
please do not start my timer until after my introduction. My name is Shannon Yazzie. I am from here. I'm also a mile away. Thank goodness you guys are here today. You may start the timer. All right, I love to speak, so I don't like being rushed. That's my main fall point in chapter leadership. Okay. Highway 89, who knows what that's also known as between here and Page? It's known as Killer 89. Who remembers that? Yes, so many fatalities. We have more tourism in this area, which we love, but that road, you guys were in Page a couple weeks ago, right? Roller coaster ride, probably lost some of your things out of your vehicle. That happens. If you look at the side, the right-of-way, you have so many things that have fallen off. Ice chests. Maybe you left your kid in the back and they fell out too. Who knows? But this road has so much history and so much hazard. In leadership, since I've been here for over a year, we have so many resolutions coming from the community. We are leading that road, not patched, but the whole stretch, at least up to the milepost 481. This is a hazard for buses. This is for people who don't recognize the speed limit as well. Because we have 2 lanes in between, they recognize the speed limit as if we're going down I-17 at 75 to 80 miles per hour. That is an impact as well. We have people who haul water who are slowly coming out, and you have somebody hitting 80 miles per hour, and that can be a collision and even a fatality. So I'm speaking on behalf of the community. I'm speaking on behalf of my experience, everyday experience, and those that have to travel that don't even expect to have this kind of experience on that road. Kids love it, I'll tell you that, kids love it. But for us as parents, grandparents traveling through, trying to make it from point A to point B in a safe manner, that road needs to be looked at more and more. And hopefully in the coming years, we will have these resolutions compiled to you through Navajo Department of Transportation, who is here, who can uplift it and bring it to your attention. And maybe in the next year, it'll be on the 5-year plan as well. That is my plea to this committee here and the board. I just wanted to express that. Where am I at on time?
31 seconds.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Vice President Yazzie. Well done on the time, too. May Peshlakai.
Ahead for opportunity to speak to members of the board here, and I am Representative May Peshlakai, and I probably got your approval from the renaming of the naming the Cameron Bridge. I just wanted to thank you for that, and then also this is the first time ever that we had any kind of board members from the board, from the transportation board. And I also wanted to thank my daughter for that. And as you can see, we have, and from hearing members of this community present their concerns, and I know it's a full plate for you guys to hear this, but it's also, you know, it's a long ways for us or for people to travel when you have your board meetings. And I have attended some of these meetings before, down in Tucson, Sierra Vista, and other places that I have been to these meetings. And I just wanted to thank you for being here, and then people listening to people's concerns about the communities throughout the Navajo Nation. That's That's it. That's all I wanted to say, and thank you very much. And as for my clan, I am Tango People Clan, born for the Deerwater Clan, maternal Salt Clan, and paternal Daraka. And I am a member of this community, and thank you very much for letting me, thank you guys for being here. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Peshkai, and thank you for your service as well. Dave Norton.
Good morning, members of the board. My name is Dave Norton. I'm from the village of Oak Creek, and I'm the elected chair of the Red Rock Road Enhancement Maintenance District, the very first citizen group in the state of Arizona that handles the landscaping maintenance through the village of Oak Creek. And I'm also part of the Big Park Council, and as Joe Skidmore said, we have been trying to get attention to exit 298 for multiple years. It's been on and off, the 5-year plan. We don't know why it goes off. We know why it should be on. That interchange is over 60 years old. Think about that. A 60-year-old design and highway handling traffic today. That is one of the primary exits from I-17 to northern Arizona for tourists going to Sedona and the Grand Canyon. It doesn't handle that traffic very well. We've had multiple fatalities there. I've spoken to this board before and brought you pictures and so forth, and Mr. Skidmore brought you a packet of materials from that interchange. We're begging to get it back on the 5-year plan, please, to get it fixed. All of the other interchanges up along I-17 have been upgraded, except that one. So it's the bad stepchild somehow that just can't stay on the 5-year plan. Please get it on there. Let's update that and show tourists who are visiting Arizona that we care about traffic safety and appearance of our highways so they can enjoy all the beauty of northern Arizona. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Norton. Jeff Sawana? Sir, we can bring the mic to you if you'd like to make your comments from right there.
Hey, Roger. Thank you, Chairman Maxwell, members of the board, and staff. I speak to the 179-17 intersection as well. I agree with your remarks up to the point that it's going to be, and this is one of those traffic interchanges to modify. It's going to take a little while. We've got to get it in the program to at least get things started. It's on Forest Service land. We know as a group, it takes time to get things approved and through the system. This traffic interchange is also showing up in the general plan, transportation plan for the Verde Valley. Again, as projects as needed. When we talk about safety, we're talking about age. You know, we're 60 years old. Come on. I'm looking around. I know there's some in here that are probably a little bit younger than the traffic interchange. And with the interchange is old. It needs to be retired. We need to do some realignment. And when we talk about safety, realize we're at the end. We're at the bottom of the rim going to Flagstaff. That is basically the end. And if you've ever gotten on that road or been around that road when the trucks are either slowing down going uphill or coming down a little bit faster than they should be, it's dangerous. In fact, when you get off, when you exit northbound I-17 to northbound 179, the ramp is only visible at the end of a guardrail. You don't even see the ramp, you see the guardrail first. At one time, that was all right. Didn't work anymore. So from the safety side, every crash that happens out there is normally catastrophic. I don't know why. Purpose still. But also this thing has to be brought up to standard. And I disagree with Mr. Norton on one thing. He noted that the Sonoma traffic interchange, as I know, is one of the last to be improved. There's one other, it's McGuireville. And I promised the people that at McGuireville, I will at least mention it. So with that, if there's any questions of the three of us, if it's all right with the chair, move forward.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your words. Raymond Tunney.
Good morning. Thank you, board members, for bringing your meeting out in Cameron and reservation over here. We have a lot of issues out here that we can bring up. It's kind of hard to bring them all up at one time. The first one I have is a safety issue right there by the school. The school has been shut down for a while, and mainly because our parents around from this area have been transported, enrolling their kids in Flagstaff and other schools because of the safety reason right there. The safety right there is, in that area is the speed limit is so high where you're coming off the hill towards you can't see that turn up right there. We need to put a turning lane or do something about that. It's been in your plan, I'm pretty sure. We brought it up before. And it seems like ever since we built this 4-lane right here through this town, the speed has increased. We need to do something about that too also. And the uranium hauling, that's another reason why we want to put out that issue on the safety turning right there. We have uranium hauling in through town, and I'm pretty sure it's running all the way across the reservation. That's what I want to bring up. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your words. I'm going to go to, and these dark glasses substitute as my readers as well. Clarinda Vale, the mayor of the town of Tusayan. I want to apologize. I tried to get all the electeds first. So, Mayor Vale.
Hello. Good afternoon, Chair and board members. I'm Clarinda Vale, the proud mayor of Tusayan, Arizona, and a third-generation resident of the area. The town of Tusayan is the gateway community located 1 mile south of Grand Canyon National Park south entrance. I would also like to mention that we would like to be put on your maps. We've been incorporated since 2010, and for some reason we're still not shown on any of your maps that we exist. So with our town's proximity to Grand Canyon National Park, we have a very busy State Highway 64 and Route 180 running through our tiny town, with up to 6 million people a year in 2019 visiting Grand Canyon National Park. The lines from the gates can back up through town during busy days of the year, but at all times of the year we've lost many lives on that highway. I know that lives are lost on all highways all over our state, but the traffic counts on this road to the amazing Grand Canyon National Park should not be ignored any longer. The South Rim is open 365 days a year. It is the road that most all people from around the world will travel to get to the Grand Canyon National Park. And with no North Rim services right now, it is even more vital. Though it is out of district and out of boundaries for our Tusayan Fire District and for our town, we contribute financially to the Tusayan Fire District work of protecting and providing emergency services for this vital road for our state. The town has an IGA with ADOT for improvements done in Tusayan in 2009, And I only mention these items to just show a couple of the many ways that Tusayan is a good partner already with ADOT, and we're trying desperately to shine a bright spotlight on this vital highway. Highway 64 has been a headlight highway for over 30 years. The town, local people, and I personally have been making comments at various ADOT plans for many, many years. And though it is getting some improvements right now, we appreciate that, but more is desperately needed. Highway 64 from Williams to Grand Canyon should be, in my opinion, should be split 4 lanes with shoulders, 2 lanes in each direction. ADOT has the right of way to do it. We don't think passing lanes are the answer anymore for certain busy times of the day and year. With lack of passing lanes in many slow motor homes and RVs, and more people passing recklessly, and many that are foreign, that don't care about getting an American speeding ticket, and with the buildup in the valley area, especially since COVID, we have more people hauling water to their homes in a variety of trailers and ways that has created another need for a way to pass them. Highway 93 to Las Vegas has somehow gotten split 4 lanes with tax money for the visitors going to it, going mainly to Las Vegas and Nevada. Please invest in the many local economies of the Grand Canyon National Park's only entrance that is open 365 days a year. We need equitable access to state plans and funds to this national park and wonder of the world that supports our entire state's economy. Thank you all for your service to our great state. Please do contact me if you have any questions. Our staff and council have approximately 200 years collectively of driving this Highway 64 to get anywhere, have an appointment to anything or to pick up most anything. We know our road very well. In the current ADOT long-range plan, it states as a goal on page 24, improvement transportation connectivity to establish and emergency activity centers and tourist destinations. Grand Canyon National Park South Rim is that destination. And we ask you to study this most vital of roads in our state for more necessary improvements. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Bell. Alicia Chi.
My name is Alicia Chi. I'm from Cameron. I've spoken about the school zone over in, you guys passed it on your way in. You came in from Flagstaff. Zithla Bay Elementary School. It was open in 2017, and at that time I used to coach there. So I saw the traffic that we had to face every time the kids came to school, the kids left to school, when we had parent meetings, when we had cross-country, the NAPCO pageants, basketball tournaments. I've had to request DPS or the Coconut County Sheriff's Office to set up a police officer there so that they can monitor the traffic, because we have families coming in and out of there, kids coming in and out of there on the buses. And we had a resolution passed with 200 signatures supporting this resolution here at the Cameron chapter in 2017. I presented at the Coconut County, another ADOT session, and I've emailed ADOT as well. This was all before the pandemic. And the response I got was that requesting a speed reader to let travelers know what the speed they're at coming in. They said my intent was to set up a speed, a speed trap. Yeah, that was not my intent. I was just trying to prioritize the safety of our community as well as our kids. And the other, what I was told is if you're going to bring your problems, bring your solutions. So a speed reader was one, and that was turned down. And then the other was setting up signs that for foreigners to understand that this is a community. We have people who travel at 45 miles per hour because that is the speed limit. We have foreigners that stop in that roundabout. So if you were to go to the Denver International Airport, you'll see the signs accommodate all these foreigners. Maybe that's what we need here in Cameron. Signs that guide people how to go through this roundabout to stay at 45 miles per hour. With that resolution, I did have supporting evidence from the Tuba City Hospital, and the emergency room has records of where all the they call them hot spots, where the accident-prone sites are, the mile markers. So that was more evidence to what Shanna and Mr. Tooney had expressed there. It is Killer 89 when you are here and you see it daily. And so I'm urging the board to help support us, support our kids. there's 5 school districts that come out here. We have ages 5 years old to 18 years old that travel on the buses. And feel free to ride on 89. You're going to see people who pass in no passing zones, people who just fly through from Utah. They don't abide, and it's mostly because we don't have any police presence. So that would be another solution, enforce the speed limit by presenting, more police presence. Is that okay? Sorry. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Chi, appreciate it. Leate Morley?
Good morning, Chair, members of the board. Kate Morley, Metro Plan Executive Director.
We'll talk about that, Kate.
And my handwriting is not great, so nice job. I'm here to also express our request of the board to include the US 180 projects in the 5-year program, as Supervisor Judy Begay previously expressed. And you've heard a lot about this project over the past year from our community members, and I know I've been copied on emails from school principals, preschool principals, elementary school principals, neighborhood residents, business owners, etc. So I'm not going to get into the value of the project. I think you all know that. You have your own plan that talks about the value of the project. I want to talk a little bit about process of how we got here. We are very aware of the funding issues that ADOT faces. And every project that's gotten up here, I'm nodding my head going, yep, that's a great project. That's also a great project, right? So you're in a really tough spot. And what Metro Plan's board decided to do is to try to help you out by saying, we know you have limited funding. We want to help you find the one most important thing that you can do in our region. And that's how we came up with this project. So our board is made up of elected officials. We've brought in public support. We looked at crash data. We looked at what was also reasonable. This is a $5 to $6 million project. And that was an intentional decision of our board to not come and ask you for a $40, $50, $150 million project. If you had more money, we do have more things we would like you to do. We're just trying to be really clear with you about what our number one is. So we've put a lot of energy into this to try to help. We know you have a P2P process that's very formulaic, but we ask that you also listen to the community members who live in these places and know what's best for their neighborhoods, as everyone here is expressing to you today. So I promised you in October when I stood in front of you at the summit that I would come up with a better slogan, and I did not. So we are hoping that you do a 180 on US 180 and put it back in the 5-year plan. Thank you.
Thank you, Kate. Angela Maloney.
Good morning. I'd like to thank the board for having this meeting here. My name is Andrew Maloney, and I'm a candidate for the state representative for District 6. So, and my clan is Hanesani, Born for the Bitter Water, and also Salt Clan and Rakyat Clan, and I'm from Tuba City. I'm a retiree from the Tuba City Medical Center, and I was in charge of the injury prevention program right there for the Winslow Service Unit and also the Tuba City Service Unit and the Cayento Service Unit. For all of you that are here, I just want to let you know, I heard a mention of Tuba City Hospital. Every office in at least on the Navajo Nation that I know of has an injury prevention program, and they are sitting on a vast amount of data that you can use to make your presentation to the transportation board. They have data on where the hot spots are, and who got injured right there, who got killed right there, and there's a lot of information there. That's what we used to get your attention. I don't know if you were sitting on the board at that time, we use that data. My program was responsible for putting all those crosses across from Flagstaff or the reservation line from Gray Mountain to Cameron. And thanks for making improvements to our roads and saving lives, driving down motor vehicle crashes. And thank you. I'd like to thank everybody here. So just in a word of education, I guess, of who has the data and who gets word of these meetings. And I'd like to have that, invitation targeted to people that have the data and have the public aware. They're always making presentations to chapter meetings and other people that request them to make presentations. That's how we got the road improvements started right here with the 89. And New York Post was the one that really got our attention at that time, calling it the #1 killer highway. So I don't know whose responsibility it is to check the culverts, check everything, make sure that rumble strips are at the right place, and also the width of the highways and those types of things. If there's a hot spot right there, and so those are the things that the Environmental Health Injury Prevention Program looks at. And it's a program that the hospitals, if they operate at certain level, they have to have an injury prevention program, and they collect the data. So thank you, and thank you for your part in driving down crashes and fatalities and injuries. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Maloney, and thank you for your willingness to run for public office. Kevin Beastie. And we are now going into our WebEx speakers. So the first up is Kevin Beastie.
Mr. Beastie, please raise your hand so I can identify you.
All right, do we have a raised hand yet from Kevin Beastie?
I have not identified him yet on the call-in list.
And Floyd, could we maybe take the microphone closer to, because I think right now it sounds like we're just getting the volume out of the computer. So I don't know if we can put the microphone up next to the computer. All right, we'll come back to Mr. Beastie if we can in the future. We're going to move on to Michael McCarty.
Mr. McCarty, please raise your hand so I can identify you. I have sent your request on.
This is one of these phone numbers.
Mr. McCarty, can you please raise your hand again? I have sent Mr. McCarty a request to unmute the vent. I think he's taking himself off the list. Let's try again.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hello? You can hear me?
Mr. McCarty, we do have you. We're still trying to work out how we can get more volume through the speaker system here.
Mr. Chair, those are our limitations. We'll do the best we can. Well, you got the microphone up there, right?
Yes, please wait.
Is it turned on?
Yes.
All right, Mr. McCarty, go ahead. We'll all be real quiet and try to listen. Thank you.
Yeah. I'll try to speak loudly. Thank you for the time this morning, and greetings from Gold Canyon. Chairman Maxwell, Vice Chair Howard, and all members of the State Transportation Board. I want to thank you for your efforts on the transportation needs that we have here in Pinal County. Specifically, I requested to speak to you about keeping the intersection improvements for US 60 and the Superstition Mountain Drive within the 2027-2031 5-year transportation facilities construction program. I believe that ID number is 105812. The need for this additional left turn lane and the length to the stacking in these lanes is critical to maintain a safe movement of vehicles at this intersection. This single left turn lane frequently backs up into the through lane, which is a 55 miles per hour lane. There have been numerous accidents, and as the growth is continuing here in Pinal County and in Gold Canyon, it's going to get worse. I truly hope that these improvements will be in the final program when you vote to approve that, and look forward to the construction commencing soon. I did see that the improvements are shown under fiscal year 2028. This design is nearing completion. I would request that you may consider to move these improvements into fiscal 2027. I hope that you've heard from many of the concerned residents here on your online form. We've been fairly organized in that manner and getting a lot of information out to the various HOAs and community groups here in Gold Canyon and Patch Junction and around. I hope that again that you will vote to approve these improvements as they stay in the plan, and you will consider possibility of moving them from fiscal 28 to fiscal 27. With that, I thank you for your efforts and allowing me to address the board this morning.
Thank you, Mr. McCarty.
Thank you.
Bill Robertson.
Mr. Robinson, please raise your hand.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. I'm Bill Robertson, President of the City of Maricopa, and also serve on the Planning and Zoning Commission here in Maricopa. I'd like to start off by first thanking our Mayor, Nancy Smith, for her unwavering ambition to see this project through fruition and travel all the way to Cameron so she could have 3 minutes of fame. We do appreciate it, Mayor. Some of us continue that effort. I would like to thank the board. Getting to the State Road 347 and the 5-year plan has been quite a task for us, but it took collaboration between the citizens, our city council, our county supervisors, and the Gila River Indian community, as well as the ADOT board and ADOT staff done a wonderful job. I'm here to encourage you to maintain the course, protect the funding, continue the schedule as is published to get this project underway. We're already seeing a little bit of activity on the 347 with some utility movement going on with the Gila River Indian Community Electric Utility Companies. Unfortunately, we had another fatal accident on 347 yesterday. A person was killed and 2 others severely injured. This was during the height of rush hour, leaving town in the northbound lanes. It created 7 hours of chaos. The road was completely closed. The alternative road is to go through Casa Grande, which it appears that maybe 65,000 people that travel that road took the Casa Grande detour through Val Vista to I-10, only to be met up with another deadlock road construction on I-10 and 2 accidents that occurred on I-10. So the completion of this project is essential. The timing, it couldn't happen any sooner for us. So we encourage you to use all your authority and power to maintain this project on schedule and protect the funding as we move forward to improve State Road 347. Thank you for the opportunity. Welcome to the new members of the board. You will learn quickly that Maricopa is a highly engaged city. We've contributed upwards of $30 million towards this project, along with some county money from County Supervisor Rich Vitiello and the Board of Supervisors for Pinal County.
So this is an important project. We encourage you to stay the course and protect it for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Robertson. Ken Budge, the mayor of Bisbee.
Mayor Budge, please raise your hand. You are unmuted.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Chairman and members of the board. I'm Mayor Ken Budge of the City of Bisbee. I'm here to advocate for a project that's happening that helps ties our two parts of the city together with a multi-use path. We've been on this project for over 5 years. It is now completely engineered. We went out for bids, and we feel like we're on the 1 yard line in a football game and just got a 20-yard penalty due to the price increases on so many things. Now, ADOT's been really good with us. We're trying to do some re-engineering to get the costs down. But one of the things that's on the 5-year plan is in 2028, you have a rehabilitation project for State Route 80 that includes this area. And if that could be either moved up or allowed us not to have to do what we're doing and then redo it, then you redo it a year later, that would save us about $350,000 off of the almost $1 million that we're over budget. So I just appreciate any consideration you could give to allow this whole rehabilitation project. If we have to seal code and do a lot of other things, and then you'll come back a year later, seems like a bit of waste of money, at least for us. And this project is so important for us to be able to start tying our city together. Our three parts of the city are separated only by a state highway, and this is the first leg of what we plan to do in creating 27 miles of trails between each one of our three parts of our city, and then eventually all the way to Douglas, which will include the trail. So I appreciate it. Anything you could do.
Thank you, Mayor Bud.
You bet.
Thank you, Mayor Budge. I didn't touch you. Thank you, Mayor Budge. And if I could ask the speakers that so far have had the opportunity to speak online, if you could email your comments, please, to the info at the State Transportation Board signed. That way we can also get copies of it. We're working on trying to increase some of the volume here. But
We were able to time that's a separate system.
Than that one.
Yeah, we were able to.
So that microphone's on.
Well, no, that microphone is, but we can only use the computer microphone. We couldn't connect the computer into that.
I don't understand.
Yeah. I just wanted to point. That microphone was fine. We can try that one, but I mean, let's try with it. Want to have that one?
All right, we're going to, just so you know, online, we're going to also switch to another microphone and see if it picks up the voices any better. But again, we still appreciate your participation. I'm going to go with Shelley Young. Ms. Young.
Ms. Young, please raise your hand so I can identify you. Ms. Young, please raise your hand so I can identify you.
Corner at the bottom.
All right, any sign yet of Ms. Young?
Not yet.
Okay, we will come back to Ms. Young at the end. How about Megan Connolly?
Ms. Connolly, please raise your hand so I can identify you.
And thank you for the work on the fix on that voice. We can hear you all online much better.
Ms. Connolly, please raise your hand again. You are unmuted.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
We've got you loud and clear now.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning, everyone on the board. My name is Megan Connolly. I am the director of Bisbee Bikeways, a 501c3 nonprofit working to create a network of safe shared use paths that connects our neighborhoods here in Bisbee, the neighborhoods that are currently cut off from each other by state highways. I'm here today because people in my community are getting hurt and we have the power to stop it. This road so State Route 80 is the only connection between Old Bisbee and the rest of our community. And for too long, it has been a place where people get hurt or don't come home at all. Sergio was killed here. Corey was hit, broke her hip, and went into bankruptcy. Sam was struck and spent 3 days in a coma. Randy was knocked down by a semi-tire explosion while simply walking around the road. Stephanie was hit and broke her hip. These are not statistics, these are our neighbors, and every single one of them deserve better from this highway. Our community didn't wait for someone else to fix this. We built this from nothing, no financial support from ADOT, no hand-holding, no shortcuts. We raised over $200,000 ourselves. We fought for federal funding. We got the Bisbee Area Mobility Master Plan passed unanimously by City Council. We got it in the county long-range plan. And now the engineering is complete and we're ready to build. We've done everything right, but global instability has driven costs up. And now a funding gap threatens to collapse $4 million in federal investment that this community earned. If construction cannot begin by July, this path may never get built. So what's especially frustrating is that ADOT already plans to repave this corridor in FY28. Our budget currently is being forced to pay for that same road work only for ADOT to tear it up and redo it the very next year. That is a waste of money and it's an unnecessary cost, and it's one that this board can eliminate today. Moving project FO846 from FY28 to FY27 saves approximately $350,000, removes the duplication, protects $4 million in federal investment, and gets a shovel-ready project into construction. This is also the first segment of a 27-mile network that will connect every Bisbee neighborhood down to Naco. Bisbee has been shrinking for decades. This project helps reverse that. People are already choosing to move here because of it. ADOT is responsible for the safety of SR 80. People have been killed and seriously injured on this highway. We have done our part, every bit of it, from scratch. So the funding is there, the engineering is done, and now we just need you to help by advancing FO846 from FY28 to FY27. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Connolly. Catherine Daly.
Ms. Daly, please raise your hand so I can identify you.
Okay, Ms. Daly, raise your hand. You are still with us? All right, Mayor Budge, if you are still online, you were the one speaker that we could not hear. I heard both Mr. Robertson and Mr. McCarty pretty loud and clear. We've solved some of our sound challenges from calling. So Mayor Budge, if you are still online and would like to restate what you had said, that I'll give you an opportunity to return to the mic. So if you could please raise your hand.
Yeah, Mayor Budge, I'm attempting to unmute you.
Mayor Budge, I believe you have a setting that's not allowing me to unmute you. Unfortunately, it's not allowing me to unmute you.
All right, we may come back to be still around later in
Okay,
in the
thank
show.
you.
But I think we all heard the premise and the gist of his concerns regarding SR 80 and the rehabilitation project. So we will move on, and we'll come back to Catherine Daly if she's here later in the meeting. Let's go with David Key.
Mr. Key, please raise your hand. Thank you. You are unmuted, Mr. Key.
Good morning, Chair and members of the board. My name is David Key, President and CEO of the Greater Sedona Chamber of Commerce. You've heard from our city engineer, deputy city manager, and vice mayor of the city of Sedona, and now from the private sector regarding these projects. I appreciate the opportunity today to briefly remind you all about these two improvements that can enhance safety, reliability, and connectivity at the junction of State Route 89A and State Route 179. Sedona sits at the junction of these two state highways, which serve not only our residents, but also millions of visitors traveling through northern Arizona each year. Because of that, the performance of these intersections affects regional mobility and the reliability of Arizona's transportation network. In 2023, the City of Sedona and Coconino National Forest partnered with the U.S. Department of Transportation's Volves Center to complete a transportation assistance group study. That report identified congestion, circulation challenges, and emergency evacuation concerns as major regional issues and recommended improved roadway connectivity as part of a long-term solution. Regarding the Ranger Forest roundabout at State Route 89A, this intersection serves as a primary access point into Upper Sedona and experiences heavy seasonal volumes. Today, we see queuing, turning conflicts, and unpredictable delay. A modern roundabout here will reduce severe angle and left turn crashes, improve continuous flow on 89A, and shorten queue lengths, as well as enhancing emergency response reliability. From a regional perspective, this project improves safety and reliability on a critical segment of our highway network. The Brewer Ranger roundabout project is especially important because it enhances the connection between State Route 89A and State Route 179. Currently, most transfers between these two state routes funnel through limited intersections, and that concentration increases congestion and reduces system flexibility, particularly during peak tourism periods or emergency events. The Brewer connection distributes demand and reducing pressure on existing intersections, improves redundancy, supports evacuation planning, and strengthens corridor resilience. These improvements align directly with the Volves report's call for enhanced regional connectivity. These projects have also received support at the state level during the current legislative session. House Bills 2201 and 2609 have been introduced and identify Sedona transportation improvements, including these roundabout projects, as priority infrastructure investments. This legislative support reflects the growing recognition that improved connectivity between State Route 89A and State Route 179 is important not only for Sedona, but the entire northern Arizona region. In closing, I just want to say the Greater Sedona Chamber of Commerce and our business community strongly supports these projects that enhance safety and regional connectivity between State Routes 89A and State Route 179. And we appreciate your continued support of transportation investments that benefit both our community and the broader region. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Key. All right, Mayor Budge, we understand you are still online and you've not changed any of your settings. Can you try raising your hand one more time if we give the mayor one more opportunity to come off mute?
Are you there? Can you hear me?
We've got you loud and clear, Mayor.
Oh, great. Thank you so much for giving me a redo. Yes, as the mayor of Bisbee, I just need to reiterate how important this project is for us. $4 million for our little town and trying to make sure that our residents aren't continuing to be killed trying to get from work. As Old Bisbee, we have a lot of workers there, but they live in other parts of town. They don't all have cars. And this part of the highway, it has like an 18-inch sidewalk that goes down one side. Then you have to cross the state highway to the other 18-inch sidewalk to get down there. So, as you heard from Megan, we've had many accidents there, and it's just something that we think that will be a big enhancement to us. Obviously, getting a $4 million EDA grant with no match, to lose that would be just devastating. So I'll be honest with you, ADOT, we've been working with our public works director. They've been great with us. We're looking at maybe changing the barriers and trying to bring the cost down. But anything that you could recommend as far as moving FO 846 forward so that we don't have to repave this road twice within 2 years would help us a lot. That would bring us down $350,000. So just anything you can move forward for us or work with ADOT in their engineering department, because we're really under the gun here, unfortunately. They've given us a very short timeline now. It's all designed. We have 2 bids from Granite and KE&G. They're both really close to one another, and we appreciate anything you may be able to do for us. So thank you for listening to me, and again, thanks for your service and everything you do, and help us get this thing completed. It would, it will mean so much to our town. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate it. Lori Reynolds, council member for the town of Bisbee. And Ms. Reynolds, can you please raise your hand?
Mr. Chair, Ms. Reynolds sent a note that since the comments were made about Bisbee, that she would pass on her time.
Tell Ms. Reynolds, thank you very much. Ms. Reynolds, if you're listening, I think Bisbee has been well represented so far. Thank you. Speaking of Bisbee, Molly Marico.
Ms. Harico, please raise your hand. You are unmuted.
Ms. Harico, you can go ahead and begin speaking.
Can you hear me now?
We have you loud and clear.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your call to the public and for your time. I'm a lifelong resident of Bisbee, Arizona. I'm the middle generation of 3 generations of residents here. I've raised a child here who's now an adult himself. I am also a board member of the grassroots nonprofit Bisbee Bikeways. I believe wholeheartedly in the mission to connect all neighborhoods in Bisbee. As I said, I was raised here, and it's essential that we make this shared use path a reality. It's incredibly dangerous just around that section of the pit. So I am respectfully imploring you to join with our community to move the project FO 846 from FY 28 to FY 27. Our founder of Bisbee Bikeways and board and community have been working very hard to make this a reality, and especially in light of the situation globally, economically, I think it's really essential that we make this happen. So that's basically what I would like to say. And again, I thank you for your time and any help that you can lend to our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Orico. Jennifer Toothaker.
Mr. Toothaker, Ms. Toothaker, please. There you go. All right, you're unmuted.
Good morning. Thank you all so much. On behalf of the City of Tucson, thank you for continued partnership with our city and region. We appreciate the work you do on behalf of our communities in Arizona and recognize the importance of maintaining strong collaboration between ADOT and local governments. Our Tucson area staff is working very well with Jeremy Moore and appreciates his leadership in the South Central District and Tucson office. Jeremy has already demonstrated a strong commitment to communication, responsiveness, and partnership, and we are excited to continue building a productive working relationship with him and his team. Today's agenda includes progress on the I-10 and Irvington project, representing valued investment in the Tucson region. As others have stated, the increased costs resulting in higher bids than estimated is outside of our control, and we're requesting that you continue to improve investment on this project to allow the project to move forward. These continued improvements along I-10 east of I-19 are essential to supporting freight movement, regional mobility, economic activity, and future growth opportunities within our community and throughout Southern Arizona. We'll continue to advocate strongly for these types of investments and improvements. We also have another specific issue we feel is important to raise before the board today. We're consistently hearing from Tucson residents regarding the maintenance of ADOT facilities within and around Tucson. Residents are demanding more frequent attention to landscaping, ramp areas, rights-of-way, and the areas underneath freeway structures, particularly along the I-10 and I-19 corridors. These gateways and corridors are highly visible parts of our community, and current conditions directly affect residents' perception of safety, cleanliness, and quality of life. We respectfully request increased attention and maintenance frequency in these areas, as well as continued partnership with the city and region to improve the appearance and condition of the state transportation system within Tucson. While we'll be working with Jeremy Moore on this locally, we believe the board should be aware of how critical maintenance and right-of-way upkeep is to the members of our Tucson community, as well as others throughout the state, and that it deserves committed ADOT funding and attention. That's all for today. Thank you all for your time and service and attention to our concerns in the Tucson area.
Thank you, Jennifer. Anthony Quintil.
Mr. Quintel, oh, there you go. There you go. You are unmuted.
Mr. Quintil, you can begin.
Good. How about now? Can you hear me now?
We have you loud and clear now.
Okay, well, thank you. My name is Anthony Quintilli. I'm speaking on behalf of Flagstaff Biking Organization as a board member to reiterate our support for adding the US 180 corridor improvements back into ADOT's 5-year plan. Flagstaff Biking Organization has been promoting bicycling as a safe and attractive means of transportation and recreation in Northern Arizona since 2002. Our programs and projects include building and maintaining trails, promoting Flagstaff Ride Your Bike Week, supporting assorted youth cycling safety and encouragement efforts, advocating for safer streets and roadways, and much more. We represent the interests of thousands of bicyclists of all ages in the greater Flagstaff area. Our various programs and projects are funded by substantial financial contributions from numerous businesses and private public grant programs. We are all volunteers. We're currently in the midst of our 24th annual Flagstaff Ride Your Bike Week. I say all this to establish the support of our concerns from thousands of Flagstaff area cyclists and pedestrians. We've already submitted substantial comments to this board and ADOT. I'm speaking to you today to amplify those comments and add some additional context. The ask from this board and ADOT is for $5 million to dramatically improve a major corridor that feeds several schools and churches, small businesses, museums, trail and ski access in several neighborhoods. The 5-year plan being reviewed today totals $12.7 billion with a B. The $5 million that would transform transportation opportunities for Flagstaff residents and visitors to Flagstaff for this important roadway is less than 0.04% of that proposed budget. This project produces a huge bang for the buck. We know that this board has received numerous letters in support of this project from schools, churches, businesses, and citizens in favor of the project. Please add the US 180 corridor improvements project back into the 5-year plan, and thank you for this opportunity to comment.
Thank you, Mr. Quintilli. Bert Whitehead.
Mr. Whitehead, please raise your hand.
Mr. Whitehead, if you could please raise your hand.
Mr. Whitehead, you are unmuted.
Mr. Whitehead, you can begin.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I'm Bert Whitehead. I'm the Deputy County Attorney for Cochise County, but I'm speaking in my personal capacity to support a request that's been spoken about in Bisbee a few times today to help a pedestrian and bike path to be installed along Highway 80 in Bisbee, Arizona. We're not asking for funding. We're asking for you to start that FO 846 project that is already approved and planned for 2027 to move it to 2026, which will rebuild, repave, and restrip a 1.5-mile strip of State Highway 80 in Bisbee, Arizona, the part that runs along the famous Lavender Pit. By moving up this project by 1 year, it will save $4 million in federal funds, which are set to expire if we do not start the project this year. It will lose over $200,000 of contributions from community members, the county, and the city of Bisbee. It will result in the likely cancellation of the project indefinitely to provide bike and pedestrian paths along a very dangerous corridor, as we will lose all federal funding if not started this year. We cannot start without hiring a construction company to start the work in July, but we also cannot hire the construction company without having the full amount that they require for this project. We've met the original budget, but then they came in at over costs by 25%. We can partly meet the full budget of the project if we reduce costs. ADOT can help us reduce our costs by $350,000 simply by moving up the already planned project along this corridor. As mentioned by others, this portion separates Old Bisbee from the rest of Bisbee and 75% of the other residents. There are no other routes that people, citizens, or tourists can take to walk or bike or drive to get from most of Bisbee to Old Bisbee. Every day I drive past here and there are adults walking in the actual highway, because the edge of the highway abuts either a fence on one side or a concrete barrier on the other side. They cannot walk. There's not even a part of the road people have to pull over their car if they wanted to, so they can't just ride on the side of the road like you have most roads. There is no side of the road here. They're literally walking or biking in the lane itself. There have been at least one person killed, as mentioned earlier, multiple people injured. No children can ride or walk along this part. It effectively chokes off all other parts of Bisbee from ever walking or biking into Old Bisbee. This has been planned, this path, for 8 years, required matching funds to support public funds and federal funds. We met all that. 4 members of my family, in fact, contributed tens of thousands of dollars to this project. But now the entire project is due to get canceled if we cannot make up this difference or lower our costs. ADOT can assist by moving up the planned project. It will likely save the path, thus improving safety, improving the environment by reducing polluting vehicles, improving the health of Arizonans by walking and biking more, improving tourism to to Bisbee and Cochise County, which is one of the few counties that are not growing in Arizona, and to improve the ability to attract new residents to the area. This request not only will not cost the state anything, but likely will save it money, because by moving up your project by 1 year, you will not have to deal with increased tuition or increased road costs, fuel costs, and other things that likely are going to be higher in 2027 rather than now. So we just ask that you would move up this project by 1 year and save this this important project for Bisbee, Arizona.
Thank you, Mr. Whitehead.
Thank you.
Claire Fritz.
Ms. Fritz, please raise your hand. Ms. Fritz, please raise your hand so I can identify you.
All right, we'll come back to Ms. Fritz also at the end. Nicole France.
You are unmuted.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can, ma'am, we've got you loud and clear.
Great. My name is Nicole France. I am a resident of Bisbee, Arizona. I am also the president of Bisbee Forward, our local nonprofit business association. I'll be brief, but I certainly want to add my voice in support of the calls you've already heard to advance the 1.25 mile Lavender Pit segment in project F0846 up 1 year. This project represents a lifeline, both literally and figuratively, for our small community, and I think it represents a fantastic opportunity to really be highly expedient in use of available public funds towards something that is a relatively, or comparatively at least, small investment for ADOT, but a massive impact on our small community. Thank you for your time, and thank you for considering these requests.
Thank you, Ms. France. Jerry Lynn Willis.
You are unmuted.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi, my name's Jerry Lynn Willis, and I live in Phoenix, Arizona, and we use Highway 89 regularly to travel to Fruita, Colorado. On our most recent trip, while hauling our toy hauler, the conditions were so rough that everything stored on the top bunk was thrown to the floor. The roller coaster effect of the roadway is not only uncomfortable, it is unsafe. I filed a formal complaint with ADOT, and the request number on that is 260-993-4236. Mr. Jason Stevens responded promptly and explained the ranking process, noting that this section of US 89 is currently listed as 14th in priority. With respect, anyone who regularly drives this corridor would find that ranking difficult to reconcile with the reality on the ground. While ADOT has completed necessary maintenance projects, the underlying design of this highway remains dangerously outdated for its current level of use. As a major freight corridor and the primary gateway for millions of visitors traveling to the Grand Canyon, Lake Powell, and the Navajo Nation, the continued reliance on a narrow two-lane undivided highway is a public safety and economic liability. The current 2026-2030 5-year transportation facility construction program dedicated billions to widening projects on I-17 and US 93. Yet US 89 continues to receive minimal attention. Many residents believe this neglect is tied to the fact that the corridor lies within the Navajo Nation. And whether or not that is the case, the result is the same. A critical transportation artery remains dangerously inadequate. I'm requesting the following action by the board. Immediate feasibility study, a formal assessment for expanding US 89 to a 4-lane divided highway to eliminate head-on collision risk, increase the safety appropriation, dedicated funding in the fiscal year 2027 budget for safety improvements, including permanent medium barriers in high accident zones, modernization of freight infrastructure, upgrades to support the growing volume of heavy truck traffic that currently overwhelms this narrow corridor. Arizona's economic growth and tourism success should not come at the cost of loss of life on an outdated 20th century roadway. The Killer 89 nickname should be retired, not through messaging, but through meaningful, long overdue infrastructure investment. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Willis. Kenneth Steele.
Mr. Steele, please raise your hand. You are unmuted.
Good morning, Chairman Maxwell and members of the board. Thank you for receiving my comments, and thank you for the work that you do. It's really, really important in this state. I just wanted to offer another perspective on the Bisbee Lavender Pit State Route 80 project. So I'm the Director of Healthy Communities at Pinnacle Prevention. We're a nonprofit based in Chandler, Arizona, but we do serve Arizona statewide. And one of the two core pillars of our mission is to create more opportunities for joyful movement, which refers to not only movement of our bodies and ability to stay active and stay healthy, but also movement of people from place to place. And in our work, we recognize that it is impossible to move with joy in our communities when you have to fear for your life walking or biking along a state highway. In 2019, we received some funding from the Vitalist Health Foundation to do an assessment in rural and tribal communities of barriers to being able to utilize active transportation and live an active lifestyle. And in 2021, we published that report. And what we saw was that in many rural communities, the state highway can be a barrier to communities in terms of being able to live a healthy and active lifestyle. And coincidentally, during that time, we also got in contact with Bisbee Bikeways, which at that time had been doing work for a couple of years already to create a network of shared use paths. And we saw this scrappy nonprofit work really, really hard with all levels of government to secure various forms of funding, including a substantial amount of federal funding eventually, to be able to do a feasibility study, to be able to do design with consultants and with the public on this project. So what we ask today is that you consider moving this project from FY28 to 27. This stretch of highway along State Route 80 is not only locally significant and regionally significant, it's also significant for the entire state and even nationally for bicycle tourism. And there are a number of national organizations in our network that are, looking at the work in Bisbee and wanting to be able to share this work with rural communities around the country that are facing similar challenges. This will eliminate duplication, it will get the construction done all at once, it'll save hundreds of thousands of dollars, and most importantly, protect over $4 million in federal funding if a simple adjustment can be made. Thanks again for your time, and have a good day.
Thank you, Mr. Steele. Crystal Figueroa.
Ms. Figueroa, please raise your hand. You are unmuted.
Good morning, Chairman Mack, members of the board. Can you guys hear me?
We have you loud and clear.
Thank you. My name is Crystal Figueroa, Executive Director of the Yuma Metropolitan Planning Organization. I would first like to sincerely thank the Arizona State Transportation Board and ADOT for the significant investments already made along US Highway 95 corridor northeast of the city of Yuma. The completion of the initial 7 miles of widening and safety improvement has already made a noticeable difference for the traveling public and for many of the users that rely on this critical corridor every day. YMPO also greatly appreciates the work that is recently commenced at the intersection of Imperial Dam Road, Martinez Lake Road, and Aberdeen Road, including the construction of roundabouts at the Imperial Dam Road and Aberdeen intersections. These intersections are especially important because of the two of them serve as the primary entrances to the Yuma Proving Ground, the U.S. Proving Ground, one of the nation's most significant military installations and the fourth largest military installation in the world. Today, I respectfully urge the board to continue advancing the remaining approximate 10 miles of widening and safety improvements along rural U.S. Highway 95 through the state's current tentative 5-year transportation and facilities construction program. The corridor was originally constructed in 1957 as an undivided 2-lane highway and no longer meets the transportation demands placed upon it today. U.S. Highway 95 serves commuters, freight traffic, agriculture operations, school transportation, recreational users, critical military-related travel associated with Yuma Proving Ground, and the remaining corridor improvements are essential not only to improving the public safety, but also for supporting military readiness, economic development, freight mobility, and long-term regional growth. Advancing these improvements would help reduce serious crash risks, improve operational efficiency, and strengthen the access to the nationally important defense corridor. The investments already made along U.S. Highway 95 demonstrate the state's recognition of the corridor's importance, as well as the strong local and regional advocacy efforts that have helped advance the corridor through successful grant awards and state appropriations championed by transportation leaders such as the Lake Erie Knight, former Arizona State Transportation Board member, and State Senator Tim Dunn. On behalf of the Yuma MPO and our regional partners, thank you again for the continued leadership, partnership, and commitment to improving Arizona's transportation system. We respectfully ask that your continued support in advancing these much-needed improvements along U.S. Highway 95. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Figueroa. Susan Sanders.
Ms. Sanders, please raise your hand. You are unmuted.
Ms. Sanders, you can begin.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. My name is Susan Sanders, and I am a 30-year resident of Bisbee. I promise I won't repeat, but want to second the
Ms. Sanders, we just lost you. Can you check your settings and start again, please?
Brandy, she didn't actually accidentally get muted, did she? She's unmuted, right?
I'm sorry. This is Sanders, and I was on the America.
Oh, she just dropped off.
All right, we'll come back to Ms. Sanders. Again, hopefully she can get back online.
She's back online, sir.
Okay, Ms. Sanders, if you're still there, can you please continue?
I'm not sure. I will just sign off.
Well, we've got you loud and clear now. We just heard you're not sure. So don't sign off yet. Let's get started. If you do.
Okay, I haven't touched anything, so I won't repeat everything. But so I just want to second what Mayor Budge, Megan Connolly, and Molly Hariko and others have so effectively communicated. I want to emphasize again that we are not asking for funds. We only are asking ADOT to move up their already planned rehabilitation of the Lavender Pit segment of the project F0846 by 1 year. Finally, we don't often get the chance to make a small change that would make a world of difference, but ADOT now has that chance. ADOT could be the hero of this story. Please consider advancing the construction of the Lavender Pit by 1 year to fiscal year 27. And I thank you very much and your patience for getting me online. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Thank you, Ms. Sanders. We heard you loud and clear, and we understand your words as well. Jill Hagner.
Ms. Hunt, you are unmuted.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Perfect. Thank you. Good morning, Chair and board members. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I wanted to take a moment to reinforce the transportation challenges the residents of Maricopa face every single day. My husband and I both commute on State Route 347 daily, so we experience firsthand the congestion, delays, and safety concerns that thousands of residents deal with regularly. I urge the board not only to fully fund the various components of this project, but also to continue planning with the future in mind, designing a roadway that addresses both today's traffic demands and the rapid growth we know is coming. As you may know, just yesterday there was a fatal accident on SR 347 early in the morning that shut down the roadway for most of the day. Unfortunately, incidents like this are not uncommon, and they highlight the urgent need for safer, more efficient infrastructure between I-10 and the city of Maricopa. Our community desperately needs a modern transportation corridor that improves traffic flow and reduces accident risks. Ideally, that includes minimizing stoplights, which are currently major sources of congestion and collision points along the corridor. I understand the Riggs Road interchange is planned for a future overpass, and I appreciate that investment. However, I also ask the board to consider long-term solutions for Mammoth Road and Casablanca Road intersections as well. The amount of traffic moving through this corridor every day is extraordinary. According to 2024 traffic counts taken just north of town, SR 347 carried more than 71,000 vehicles per day, over 36,000 northbound and nearly 35,000 southbound, and those numbers will continue to grow. Maricopa is one of the fastest growing communities in Arizona. Since my family moved here in 2019, the city has nearly doubled in size. Today we have more than 80,000 residents, with continued residential and commercial growth happening rapidly. In closing, I ask for your support in building a roadway that is safe, efficient, designed for the future of our community. Please approve the right-of-way and contract items before you today so this critical project can continue moving forward. Thank you for your time and your consideration.
Thank you, Ms. Hagner. Derek, sorry I don't have a last name, but I'm showing Derek, a resident of Sierra Vista. So if that's you, please raise your hand.
Derek, I am attempting to unmute you, but I am having issues. It's not giving me that option. Can you please check your settings?
Derek, please check to make sure your settings allow you to be unmuted. All right, we'll proceed on. Derek, since we know you're online, we'll continue to take a look at your settings, and we will come back to you. We've only got one more speaker before we go back to those that were not online. So let's go to Katie Norton.
Ms. Norton, please raise your hand. Ms. Norton, please raise your hand so I can identify you.
I don't see Katie Norton logged in. Was she logged in under different?
All right, we're going to start from the top and roll through those who were not on when we asked or unable to raise their hand at the time. So let's start with Kevin Beastie. Kevin, if you're on the line with us, please raise your hand and we'll unmute you.
I don't see him logged in.
All right, Mr. Beastie's probably not in. I know he'd be there if we could. Shelley Yount. Miss Shelley Yount, if you're on, you can raise your hand and we'll unmute you. All right, let's try Miss Catherine Daly. Miss Daly, if you're online, please raise your hand and we'll try to unmute you.
Let's see Miss Daly.
Okay. All right, Miss Claire Fritz. Miss Fritz, if you're online, please raise your hand.
So if somebody just, with just a phone number, has raised their hand, I don't know the name, but just a phone number.
All right, we could unmute the phone number.
Mr. Chair, I have just unmuted Derek.
Okay, Derek, you have the microphone and you're clear to start. Your words.
Yes, yes, thank you so much. I'm Derek Paris. I live in Sierra Vista in Cochise County near Bisbee. Just a father of three, excited for my kids to grow up in Arizona. And this highway project is very exciting. So I won't take more of your time, but I want to say thank you for listening to the public. It seems you must have infinite patience, and I appreciate the work you do and hope you can work some magic for the little bike project in Bisbee. Thank you so much.
All right, Derek, if you could real quick before you go, can you give us your last name?
Yes, Paris, Paris, like Paris, France.
Thank you, Derek. Appreciate your words.
Thank you.
And one more shot with Katie Norton. All right.
So, Mr. Chair, there is that phone number that has raised their hand, and Kevin Beastie just texted that he's waiting. So I don't know if that's him on the phone. He didn't say that. Brandy,
Mr. Chair, those settings are such that I'm unable to select unmute for that phone number, unfortunately.
I don't see Kevin, otherwise that might have been him. So they can't adjust their settings, Mr. Chair, then I think that's...
All right, so if you're online and you're identified as a phone number and you've got your hand up, you've got one more chance to unmute. We change your settings to see if we can officially unmute you from here. And can we give it one more chance to unmute that line?
Unfortunately, I'm unable to unmute that line.
All right, thank you very much. So at this time, I will close the call to the audience. I want to thank everybody for your patience, whether you're online or here in the room, and the opportunity to speak. call the audience remains one of the most important things because it's about civic engagement. It's about everybody getting involved, letting us know what your needs are. There's always challenges as we move around the state to try to get the systems to work, but we feel very strongly that the most important thing the State Transportation Board is get out and try to meet with those residents. And we rarely, not never, but we rarely repeat our locations over the course of 2 or 3 years. So we appreciate everybody that's here in person and all the callers on the phone. At this time, I'm going to officially open the public hearing. So Iqbal Hussain will now present an overview of the tentative FY 2026-2030 5-year Transportation Facilities Construction Program. Actually, I believe that should be the 2027 to 2031 5-year Transportation Program. So Iqbal, the floor will be yours.
I'll announce something. So, Mr. Chair, we also want to go on for the record that Jacob Gable, Jacob, you're going to tell us that the funding has not changed since was previously presented, and this tentative program is fiscally constrained. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yep, the funding has not changed since it was presented on February 5th, and the program is fiscally constrained.
Okay, but there obviously must be a legal statement, so that's good. Funding hasn't changed and it's fiscally constrained.
Remember, you can't approve a 5-year program that is not fiscally constrained. That's a requirement in law.
That is a requirement in law, and it's a requirement I think the legislature is working on right now.
Yes, sir. Yep. Yes, sir.
All right, Iqbal, the floor is yours. And thank you, everybody that's been here. Appreciate all your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Jake, and good morning, Mr. Chair and members of the board. For record, my name is Iqbal Hussain with the Multimodal Planning Division. So, as Chairman mentioned, that I will be presenting the recommended tentative 27 to 2031 5-year construction program. Next slide. Okay, thank you. So like every other year in the past, I will begin with the 5-year program development process. And this chart shows a high-level overview of the process. As shown in the first arrow in the chart, as a starting point, the current 26 to 30 program was effective on July 1st, 2025. Then in August and September, our finance team completes the revenue forecasting, and with that data, they calculated available funding available for 27 to 31 program. Then following the Resource Allocation Advisory Committee meeting, which is RAC meeting in October-November timeframe, ADOT, MAG, and PAC each begins programming the funding allocated to their region. In February timeframe, the board holds a study session at the beginning of the month, and later in February we present the tentative program to the board for approval. And once approved, the tentative program is released for public comment, which runs from March through mid-May. In May, that's why we are now, the board will hold a public hearing, which is we are doing today, to review the public comments and provide further feedback to ADOT. Then, based on the board's feedback, ADOT will finalize the 27 to 31 construction program and present to the board for approval in June. With that, that's the high-level overview of the 5-year program development process. Go to the next slide, please. Thank you. So this slide gives the context for the development of the 5-year program. But I will start with an overview of the long-range transportation plan and its influence in the 5-year program. The long-range transportation plan incorporated a recommended investment choice, or RIC, RIC, which the board officially adopted in October 2023. The RIC established an investment objective as 78% of the available funding goes to preservation, 15% allocated to modernization, safety type of projects, and 7% allocated to expansion project. Next slide, please. Switching to performance metrics, the board statutes require ADOT report on various performance metrics to the board and the use of this information in developing the 5-year program. Shown on this slide are the assessment of the condition of our bridges and pavements. Both are classified into the categories of good, fair, and poor. Go to the next slide. And, also on the left side of the slide, you can see the definitions for bridge ratings are provided. On the right side, present the definitions for pavement ratings. Next slide. This slide presents an overview of the system's prevailing conditions. The data used here is the most recent available, which is from 2024. On the graph, in the upper left corner shows the bridge condition, which are generally favorable. 65% is classified in good condition. 34% are classified in fair condition, and less than 1% classified as poor condition. Review of the interstates as presented in the chart in the upper right-hand corner. 57% of the interstate pavement is good condition, 41% is in fair condition, and 1.9% in poor condition. Then we'll move on to the graph in the lower left corner that shows the non-interstate routes within the national highway system, including US routes and other critical state routes. As you can see, 36.3% is in good condition, 56.9% in fair condition, and 6.8% are in poor condition. Finally, the graph in the lower right corner presents the routes outside of the national highway system. This group exhibits a continued decline with only 15.6% is in good condition and 73.4% in fair condition and 10.9% in poor condition. Yes.
Iqbal, one quick question. When will the 2025 stats be available?
This will be available for the bridge, and pavement is a little bit different. So we already have 2025 bridge data, but for the pavement it will be available April of 2027.
Okay, thank you.
Move on to the next one, please. Thank you. So now we are turning now to the funding designated for 27 to 31 5-year program. The chart on the left shows the total annual availability for this period. The total amount for over the 5-year period, the total is $6.7 billion. And the majority of the funds are utilized within the ADOT system, with the exception of about $500 million allocated to local and other competitive programs over the 5-year period. The adjacent pie chart on the right side shows the regional allocation percentages of the funding. As you can see, 50% is allocated to Greater Arizona, and is primarily programmed by the board. The allocation for Greater Arizona is over a 5-year period is $4.1 billion. 37% allocated to Maricopa County, which is primarily programmed by MAC, and the 5-year total is $2.04 billion. And the remaining 13% is allocated to Pima County, which is primarily programmed by PAC, and their allocated amount is $614 billion over the next 5 years. Next slide, please. So beginning with the Greater Arizona section, as shown in the previous slide, Greater Arizona receives 50% of the available funding, which is $4.1 billion. These funds are primarily programmed by the board and and dedicated to 13 counties outside of Maricopa and Pima counties. Although the Greater Arizona section is dedicated to those counties outside of Maricopa and Pima counties, those counties may compete for competitive funding and having projects funded by this section as well. Some examples are Highway Safety Improvement Program, Transportation Alternative Programs, and there are a few other programs. Next slide, please. Thank you. So let's talk about the projects for fiscal year 2027 through 2031 for Greater Arizona section. The graph shows the amounts programmed in each of the 3 recommended investment choices or RIC categories, like pavement, modernization, and the expansion. Going back to the graph, preservation remains the category with the majority portion of funding throughout 5 years, as you can see. And the modernization is on nearly about $188 million annually for a 5-year period. And the expansion, we see the greatest activity program in fiscal year 2027 and 2028. For 2029 and 30, the expansion totals decreased due to the reduction in available funding. Move to the next slide, please. Thank you. Keeping our focus on the Greater Arizona funding allocation, this presents how projects funding is distributed across each board district and their corresponding counties. As you can see from the pie chart there, a small amount of funding is programmed in Maricopa and Pima counties. These are primarily associated with safety and pavement rehabilitation projects. 37% Maricopa and 13% Pima allocations are not included here. The table on the bottom shows the amount programmed by year in each district.
One quick question. So we now have District 7 breaking up now. Are we going to update that prior to this 5-year plan, or because it began this way, are we going to carry that through this?
So we are planning to change it because I think it will be easier. So we are planning to include District 7 in the final program.
Okay. Yeah, 'cause
Otherwise,
I know it's not going to change the project, they'll just change where it's being spent. And it gives Member Coleman this opportunity to go back and go, look what I already brought back. All right, thank you. I just wanted to see. If
we already started working on it.
It'll be presented.
It will be the final program.
Final. Thank you.
Thank you. So let's move on to some of the expansion projects for 2027. There are a couple of examples here. Project on I-17 from East Douglas Road to milepost 275, totaling $25.58 million. Widening on US 93 at Big Jim Wash in the amount of $50 million. This is actually year 1 of 2, the first year of total 2 years. And on the 2027, also the second year of construction for Lion Springs on SR 260, amounting $50.5 million. The construction of a portion of SR 347 widening during fiscal year 2027, budgeted at $86 million. And finally, on this, the construction of James Ranch Road from US border to SR 80 for $20 million. Next one is 2028. So in 2028, we are in the final phase of two projects on US 93 and 260, totaling about $32 million, and the Lion Spring totaling over $32 million. Next one is then the expansion projects in fiscal year 2029 on I-40, design of Rodeo widening project from I-17 to Country Club Drive in the amount of $12.5 million. The final project in fiscal year 2029 is the design of northbound I-17 from milepost 298 to milepost 314 in the amount of $13.1 million. In fiscal year 2030 and 31, there are no expansion projects program. As you know, the revenue forecast for these years are less optimistic, and because of this, we are anticipating lower revenues, and we could not program expansion projects during those fiscal years. Next one, please. So about the map dashboard, just like the previous years, we are very happy to share the Tennessee program map dashboard with you, which is designed to help the board and the public to easily explore and review the projects included in the program, so they can make comments. The dashboard allows you and the public to filter projects by county, by board district, other geographical areas. It also gives the interactive maps, project description, and other relevant information. As I mentioned, this dashboard is available to the public for them to review and submit their comments. Next one, please. Moving on to Maricopa County, 37% of the total funding is allocated to that region with programming managed primarily by MAC. And over the 5-year, Maricopa County will receive $2.04 billion. In early May, MAC updated its allocation and listed all their projects. They are currently navigating the committee cycle for final approval. Next one is move on to PAC. PAC's Regional Transportation Authority, RTA, half-cent sales tax propositions for 18 and for 19 passed in March of 2026. This secured the funding for their 20-year plan. And following the approval, PAC updated its projects and their allocations. And currently, they are navigating the committee cycles for final approval as well. Next one, please. Good. Now shifting from the highway to a different type of capital improvement program, which is our airport capital improvement program. ADOT Aeronautics work with and collaborate with other 60 Arizona airports to facilitate infrastructure improvements. And ADOT Aeronautics provides the required matching funds for federally funded grants awards. Additionally, ADOT Aeronautics provides state local program and APMS program to the local partners. Next one, please. For these airports, a total of $178.4 million is allocated across 5 programs over the next 5-year period. These programs are FAA Match Program, State Funded Development Program, Airport Pavement Management System APMS Program, Grand Canyon National Airport Program, and the Airport Development Program. Moving to the next one. Here I would like to share some public comments through May 10th. The public comments period will continue until May 22nd. But I would like to share with you some of the comments and some of the theme we received so far. As shown on the left side, lower left corner, we have received total 481 comments through the online survey form. And in addition to this, the public has provided input through emails. We received 90 comments through email, and overall we have received 571 comments. On the right side shows the comments by the transportation modes. Next slide, please. Very good. So this slide shows the routes which have received at least 10 comments. The major themes coming through to date are projects requested on US 60, such as widening in the areas of Gold Canyon and Queen Creek Canyon, and also the section between Globe and Sholo. The comments are based on or focused on pavement conditions, that these are also a concern throughout the corridor. On US 80, the comments suggest including US 80 and Fort Belly in the program and supports pedestrian and bicycle improvements on that corridor. On I-10, the road conditions and safety concerns at several locations on I-10 between Phoenix and Tucson. On SR 347, continued support for widening, overpasses, roadway improvements between I-10 and Maricopa. Next slide, please. And additional routes that received at least 10 comments are here included. These are on I-17, SR 260, US 93, and Loop 303. So what are the next step on 27 to 30-year program? Today, we are bringing the tentative program to the board for public hearing. On June 4, we'll return to the board for a study session to review the draft final program. And on June 19, we'll present the final program to the board for approval. Slide. This concludes my presentation for the tentative program. I'll be happy to answer the question you may have.
All right, as a reminder for everybody, this public hearing's for information and discussion only. Any board members have any questions that they want to ask of Iqbal? I know we're going to get a legislative update here after we close the public hearing. Are there any concerns about any financial changes to this between now and June when you present the final plan?
Mr. Chair, Amy will be talking about this.
Well done. That sounds good. All right, is there a motion to adjourn the public hearing on the 2027-2031 tentative 5-year transportation facilities construction program?
So moved. So moved. Second.
All right, I have a motion by Member Elders and Member Giles as the second. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The chair is an aye, and that the net unanimous vote to close the public hearing. So I officially adjourn the public hearing, not using the gavel like it instructs me to, but then we're going to open the board meeting. So I'd like to call the official board meeting to order. Thank you, Iqbal. Appreciate it. We'll see you in probably a couple minutes.
Yes.
We'll now move on to item 1, which is the director's report. There will be no director's report this month. as I believe the Director Toth is down in Tucson at the University of Arizona for the graduation ceremonies down there. But we will have a legislative report, hopefully, by Amy Love. So Amy, I'm assuming, since I don't see you here, you are online. The floor is yours.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, yes, thank you. I'll just wait for the slides to be brought up. Good morning, I believe, or possibly good afternoon for those in Cameron. Amy Love with the ADOT State and Local Government Relations. Happy to be here to give you a legislative update of the goings-on at our state capitol at the moment. Next slide, please. So we are currently on the 124th day of the legislative session, sitting at just over 2,003 bills that were introduced. Of those, 125 have been passed. The governor has vetoed 61 bills and signed 64. Additionally, there have been 29 resolutions passed and sent to the Secretary of State. Next slide, please. So this is what I get for sending my slides to Floyd, because we were in a bill moratorium all week and the legislature has had very little activity, which is noted here on the first bullet point. However, we began to hear rumblings late last night from various media sources that ongoing discussions between the House and the Senate have been going well with the governor, and that the bill moratorium is expected to be lifted. So we anticipate that bills that have been installed, including our ADOT agency bills, will begin to move on Monday. I will note that of the budget, or excuse me, of the bills that were vetoed, mentioned earlier, there was a GOP budget pass that the governor vetoed on May 5th. The only item of interest I would note there, the budget did propose a $26.3 million sweep of the SMART Fund and deferred those monies to FY29. The Senate is currently adjourned until Monday. The House stands adjourned until June 1st. However, we anticipate they will likely be called back sooner, given the bill moratorium is being lifted. Next slide, please. So a few of the bills that we've been tracking of interest to the board that we've given you updates on previously, just to touch base, a few related to public records, pending on the House floor where an amendment is anticipated. There's a 28, that's Senate Bill 1437 there at the top. Jumping down to the bottom, a similar topic, public bodies executive session agenda was signed by Governor Hobbs. That is now Chapter 62. House Bill 2148, the non-custodial federal monies appropriation, has passed the Senate Transportation Committee. It's still pending caucus. This is one I would note is introduced almost every year by every legislature and historically is not popular among governors of either party. So I believe legislation similar to this has been vetoed in the past by the governor as well as Governor Hobbs and others. So if that does advance, we'll keep you posted, but do not likely see that being signed into law. And then the other bill I wanted to briefly mention, hasn't been much of an update on these since the bill moratorium went into effect, but that is the HB 2601, the Interstate 11 Environmental Engineering Study Bill, that is still pending a final vote in the Senate. Next slide, please. Moving on, again, as we've mentioned, I think at prior meetings of the board, these are funding bills that legislators have introduced to signal projects of priority for them and their districts. A number of them advanced in committees, the Policy Committee of Transportation, but not heard in the Appropriations Committee. Certainly, any number of these could possibly find their way back onto the budget negotiating table, but given the introduced budget that looked to not be adding any new monies for transportation, despite the governor's veto. Unsure how likely it is that any new funding for projects will be in this year's budget, but certainly as the budget negotiations and bills begin to break free next week, we'll have a better update for you next month on the status of any funding that might be coming our way related to projects. But as a reminder, these are funding bills that appropriate monies either to or through ADOT for various projects. Next slide, please. Again, a few more of those Senate bills that appropriated monies for various projects. Next slide, please. Those are the final two bills from the Senate that appropriated monies, and we'll move on to the next slide, which will be the House bills that were appropriating monies for projects. Next slide, please. And I believe you should have all received sometime in the last month. We do have a spreadsheet that lists each of the bills and the amounts appropriated for the projects. If you've not received a copy of that, please let us know, and we'll be sure to get that to Floyd and Karen and Zach to make sure you've all seen a copy of it. Next slide, please. Thank you. Moving on to the next slide. I believe that should wrap up all of the House bills with funding appropriated for projects. Next slide, please. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
All right, thank you, Amy. So obviously, we know the number of folks from the legislature who have decided that through individual projects is how they can get things into the 5-year plan. And I understand that with the lack of overall funding available and the challenges. We obviously won't know anything about those till the end. What my question's about is the $26.9 million sweep of the SMART funds. We've seen the impact SMART funds have on getting projects done in rural Arizona and not in the bigger municipalities. What do you think the likelihood of that is in withstanding the current budget negotiations?
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I certainly wouldn't want to try to speak for the governor or anyone else, but I will say that that proposed sweep was something that she did note was a reason for her cause for concern. So while I don't know that we'll see new monies, I do believe that the governor felt the impression I got from her press releases and statements was that she very strongly feels those monies need to be protected. But again, I would hate to speak for her, but if I were a betting woman, I would not anticipate seeing that in the final budget, but don't quote me, even though I'm on record.
So go on. I hope you are a betting woman, but we'll go with that. The one other question we've got, obviously we're in a situation where we've got a couple members of the board still awaiting their confirmation in front of the Senate Transportation Committee. Have you heard any change to the chairman's position of not hearing any of those confirmations?
Mr. Chairman, I will say Cynthia, who works with me, has noted there are beginning, with the bill moratorium lifted, we're beginning to see agendas post for next week. At this point, we have not seen the Transportation Committee. And just see what we can do to hopefully get something scheduled relatively soon. But unfortunately, I don't have a new update for you on that.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have any questions for Amy on the legislative update? All right, thank you, Amy. We appreciate it.
You're quite welcome. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. You as well. Okay, there is no item 2 is normally the district report, but there is no district report this month. This week already received one for this district. We will now move on to item number 3. That's the consent agenda. Does any member want an item removed from the consent agenda? Okay, seeing none, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
Second.
All right, we've got, I guess we don't need the microphones for those because I can repeat them. We have the motion from Member Peshlikai and the second from Member Elters. Any discussion on the consent agenda? All right, all those in favor, please vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the motion, the consent agenda moves as presented. We'll now move on to the always exciting financial report, as this is what drives what we're able to do, and that's with Jake Gable, item 4.
Thank you, Chairman Maxwell, members of the State Transportation Board. Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
That's right, afternoon.
What time zone are you in?
All right, next slide. Okay, year-to-date HERF revenues through April were $1.5 billion, $1,534 million. And two helpful comparisons that we often provide are revenues to date compared to the forecast, and then also compared to the prior year actuals. Revenues to date are 0.5% above forecast, and kind of for reference, that equates to $7.5 million above forecast. 5 of 10 months have exceeded the forecast, and 5 of 10 months have come in below the forecast. And then in comparison to FY25 actuals, it is above by 1.6%, or $24.6 million. Next slide. April HERF revenues of $166 million were $611,000, or 0.4% below the April 2025 actual. And April HERF revenues were $340,000 below, or 0.2% below forecast. Member Elters, last month, and I think even the prior month, we had checked in on the Iran conflict. And that conflict began on February 28th, and April fuel numbers reflect March sales. So it is, the data that we're getting now does have some of that time period. And Arizona figures suggest that the conflict has not significantly impacted gas tax revenues to date. Yep. Next slide. Year-to-date RARF revenues through March have been $591 million. This is 1.5%, or $8.5 million above forecast. And in this case, 8 of 9 months have exceeded the forecast, and just one coming in shy. And then this is 3.8%, or $21.9 million above FY25 actuals. Next slide. March RARF revenues of $63.5 million, or 3.7 million, or 6.2% above the March 2025 actual. And March RARF revenues were 1.3 million, or 2.2% above estimate. Next slide. And that is my presentation.
All right, Jake, thanks first. Thank you for being responsive to Member Elter's earlier question, and appreciate you bringing that information back. Anybody have any questions for Jake?
Welcome, Jake.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good job on that, as long as you keep bringing the positive signs of this, where the financing from the collections come
Yes,
from.
sir. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I've got one question.
I'm sorry, I appreciated the comment on the gas tax revenues and the possible impact of the war, but it does seem like in the last week or so I've heard state and federal elected officials discussing suspending the gas tax. So any insight on the likelihood of something like that happening and what the impact is?
At this point, like Amy said, I wouldn't want to be a betting person on those topics, but we are following those things closely and trying to learn as much as we can and staying abreast. So we will be the first to keep you informed on that as we learn more.
Yeah, the current state legislative effort appears to have stalled, but just recently the federal government has taken back from that. Another whole conversation on how the Federal Highway Trust Fund gets funded, so, but we'll see.
Being underfunded?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would just echo what we heard and point out that when I saw that, I was fairly surprised, shocked. It reminded me of 2008 when we heard similar discussion about a gas tax holiday. And when you couple that with the fact that the trust fund, highway trust fund, is in trouble to start with and needs to be supplemented when reauthorization takes place, and the fact that there's discussion about the next reauthorization, this really is a significant, could have a significant impact. So any information that you could share with the board in between board meetings would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Alderson. Just to clarify for those who may not be aware, the Federal Highway Trust Fund is right now, based on current expenditures, would become insolvent in about fiscal year 2028. The current funding stream from the federal government has to be addressed before then too, but hopefully they'll make that a priority on getting a funding plan for infrastructure going forward. So thank you, Jake.
Thank you.
All right, now we'll move on to item 5, the multimodal planning division report, and we'll bring back up Iqbal Hussain.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and the members of the board. Now I'll be providing you with tribal transportation updates. Okay. I'll begin with exciting news. On May 4th, ADOT issued the call for project nominations for the planning to programming, which is P2P process for the 2028 to 2030 program. So we have not even finalized 27 to 31 program yet, but we already started the 28 to 32 program cycle, meaning the next program cycle with the P2P. This is actually really exciting. Right now, concurrently, we are working on 3 different program cycles, right? So FY 2026 to 30, 27 to 31, and we just started 28 to 32. So some of you might find it confusing, but our programming team having fun with this. So on this, we already sent out the notifications of this announcement on May 4th to our tribal partners. The project nomination process is really easy. To nominate a project, we ask please fill out the project nomination form and submit to the form to ADOT P2P manager via the email address listed there. And we'll review the nominated projects at district workshops to be held in August-September timeframe. For the Navajo Duty tribal partner, we are happy to invite them to an upcoming meeting with ADOT, and the meeting will take place on May 26, 2026 in Flagstaff, and the exact location and the timing is listed there. We are looking forward to this meeting. This meeting will provide an opportunity for Navajo Nation DOT and ADOT partners to collaborate, to share updates and discuss ongoing and upcoming projects. So we are looking forward to this. So, next slide, please. Okay. Finally, this slide highlights the tribal outreach and engagement activities conducted by ADOT personnel since the last board meeting. It also includes upcoming activities planned for the near future. That's all I have. That concludes my tribal updates. I'm happy to take any questions you may have.
Any questions for Iqbal on this issue? All right, thank you. We'll move on to item 6, which is the AZ State Match Advantage for Rural Transportation, or AZ SMART Fund Program, with Iqbal Hudson.
Thank you. Thank you. As Chairman Maxwell mentioned, that I'll move on to item number 6, AZ SMART program. So this month, no AZ SMART applications today to present to the board, but I do want to share the current available funding under each category, which is highlighted yellow on the slide. And this information is current through April. And that's the only thing I have to share with you on AZ SMART program today.
I did have one of these under the munis, just over 10,000. We've got more match awards pending that would take us into a negative number. Does that mean they're pending because you don't have the funds until we reauthorize that, or what? I guess that if it's been there for a while, it confused me when I saw it this time. Can you explain what that really means?
This also I will defer to Amy, because at this point we have 5 applications pending. We are holding on holding off to these 5 applications.
And so when we mentioned in the earlier one, if the money gets swept, will all this money that we currently see on this chart go away?
I do not have answer. Yes. That I need to. I see if Amy is there on the line. I just want to make sure she has the maybe better answer.
She's still with us, or is she
I don't know if she's still, no, yeah, she's still on.
So Amy, if you could come up, we're looking at the AZ Smart Fund report as it sits right now. There's obviously some balances, which in July can get redistributed to some of the other balances. But if the current budget sweeps, is this the funds we're talking about them taking away as well as funds in the next year's budget?
Mr. Chairman, the proposed sweep was in the budget that was vetoed, so there's not currently a budget proposal planned. I would have to defer to our budget team who did an analysis of the proposed sweep. I'm not sure where the fund balance for that $26.3 million that they were targeting was specifically coming from. But I know that one of the reasons the governor mentioned vetoing the bill was the potential for it to impact the state receiving, upwards of 85 million in federal funds due to the inability to match. And that was the main reason for the veto as it relates to this. There were other proposed fund sweeps that ADOT manages, but this was the one that was relevant to the board that I wanted to bring to your attention.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, that looked like that was new money that was in the budget that was taken out. This money was not.
Okay. Jake's nodding back there like he's got potential something to add about it, because I kind of read it differently as well.
Mr. If Jake is there,
Jake, you got the mic.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, that's typically the way that sweeps work, is that the fund balance in that existing fund would be swept. Things are kind of already in motion, and so I haven't thought through kind of all the steps that would be required to make it all work, but that is how I understand the fund sweeps. Hopefully, we'll see what happens when the budget is approved.
Yeah, I just want to get that on the record, that is the potential that we've got, is losing this money as well as not getting any more funds in the next fiscal year. Same things worked historically in the state aviation fund, and that's the other side we're also going to keep a close eye. Member Bracker, did you have a comment or question?
To clarify, the sweep that they were.
Turn it on. I turned it on. Turn this on.
Sorry, just to clarify,
when they talked about a sweep, they talked about in the new budget, but they weren't talking about the money that already existed, or were they including the money that already existed, which is why you're not moving forward with any new proposals?
Now I really wish I had that budget that got vetoed in front of me, but my understanding is sweeps are typically not looking forward, they're looking at existing fund balances.
Yeah, and obviously, as somebody, I think Amy already said, that budget was vetoed, so it doesn't exist. It just contained potential sweeps or, a look at it. So that's what the ADOT staff will keep us as informed as possible as we go forward, and also let some of us that maybe want to do some outreach to also know where we can help out. All right, any other questions?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is Amy. That was why I wanted to bring it here.
Amy's trying to talk.
Okay, Amy, we had to move. So, Amy, we had to move the microphone over to you again. Can you just repeat that last comment?
Oh, I apologize, Mr. Chairman. I couldn't figure out how to raise my hand on WebEx. I just wanted to say, yes, to Jake's point, and that was a conversation during committee and on the floor about whether monies were already encumbered or if these were available monies, and there was a lot of concern about the impact for us to draw down those already potential federally funded projects. And so I wanted to bring to the board's attention that, for lack of a better term, that card had been dealt, but that it was quickly overplayed by the governor who vetoed it. So I don't anticipate those fund sweeps, given her comments, but certainly we'll be back here next month with hopefully a full budget has been approved and we'll be able to tell you more.
Absolutely. Maybe what I would ask you and the ADOT team is, as you become aware of those funds throughout the negotiation, just please to reach out to us as members of the board so we're aware of what's currently being discussed and debated at the legislature regarding those funds, because a lot of those funds have made a big difference. A lot of them are encumbered, and there's definitely, it makes some big changes, not only to the budget of the state, but then also to the 5-year plan. So appreciate the feedback from both of you on that.
You're welcome.
Okay, we will now move on to item number 7, which is the Economic Strength Product Risk Grants, which we're probably saying for discussion and possible action on this item. That's all.
Thank you. Then I will move on to next item, item number 7, Economic Strength Project, ESP. Okay, good. Since this award comes just once a year, I just want to give you some quick overview of this program so everybody can recall what about this program. So under the Arizona statute, ADOT is required to transfer $1 million each year from the Highway User Revenue Fund to the ESP fund. And every year, project nominations come from the Arizona Commerce Authority, and the State Transportation Board approves those projects. Next slide, please. Now let's move on to the projects. In 2026, 2 projects were recommended by the Arizona Commerce Authority. One of the projects from City of Prescott, and the other one is from Town of Snowflake. Let's begin with the City of Prescott project. The scope of this project is to widen a half a mile segment, and the improvement of this segment include roadway widening, pavement reconstruction, sidewalk, signage, and traffic signals. And the estimated time to complete this project is 6 months. And this project is expected to eliminate bottlenecks along the city's primary north-south corridor. Could move to the next project is, the final project is for the town of Snowflake. The scope of the work for this project is construction of a new public roadway, 3/4 of a mile in length. The estimated construction time is 9 months for this project. This project will have a huge impact to the city. This project will support long-term economic growth for the town. The roadway will improve traffic circulation, reduce congestion through the residential neighborhoods, and provide safe access. Next slide, thank you. Here is the summary for those two projects. For City of Prescott project, the cost is $742,640, and the requested grants amount is $600,000. And for the town of Snowflake project, the cost is $503,637, and the requested grant amount is $420,000. Next one, please. And the recommended action, Mr. Chair and the members of the board, I would like to request your approval to award the amount of $600,000 to the City of Prescott, and in the amount of $420,000 for town of Snowflake for their respective projects.
All right, is there a motion to approve the Economic Strength Projects ESP 24 grants as presented?
Mr. Chairman, understanding how these funds come about once a year, and the fact that these are two great projects, so on the merit of the projects and the endorsement of the Arizona Commerce Authority, I move for approval to award both projects as presented.
Second.
All right, I have a motion by Member Elters, a second by Member Peschelkai. Just one point of discussion. You mentioned that $1 million is moved from HERF into this program. We're issuing over $1 million here, but that's because of carryover from the last year, and I believe there's still going to be another $23,000 or carryover again into next year's funds.
Yes.
Okay, any further discussion or questions? All right, all in favor of approving the economic strength projects as the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Economic strength projects pass unanimously.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and the members of the board for approving these two projects.
And now we move on to item 8, PPAC items, which there are probably more PPAC items than I've seen in a long time. So Iqbal, let's know how you'd like to go through those.
Yes.
Not individually, I hope.
Thank you. Then I'll move on to item number 8, which is Priority Planning Advisory Committee items for discussion and possible action. Before I go into these projects, I have a correction for the board's awareness. The correction is on item 8WW, which is on the PDF page 204 of 264. Item 8WW. So the correct program amount is $950,000. Currently, it shows $780,000. Thank you. Mr. Chair, Board Member Elters had some question. If you allow me, I would like to respond to this. Okay. So there are a couple of questions. Item 8B, the cotton wash to Raylene. This was in the previous program, but to make room for SR 347, it was pushed out of the program. So now we are bringing it back, and we'll be advertising this project next month. All right, did it answer your question?
Yes, it did.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any further questions that member Elter had, or did you already
Yes,
get the answer?
another question Mr. Alter has on 8S, which was the Colorado River Bridge. So the scope of work is replacing the whole bridge, not only the deck, it's replacing the whole bridge.
Okay.
Mr.
Good.
Chair,
Floyd.
I have one comment. Mrs. Howard couldn't be here, but what she asked me to express was an appreciation for getting the projects that were deferred in for 347, getting them as soon as possible, and for making the effort to ensure that we I shouldn't say corrected, but accommodated that back.
And for those who either aren't online, so you might not have heard that comment, Vice Chair Howard also reached out to me, both with her apologies for not being up here today. That was her intention, but she has, as an issue she has to deal with today, thus she cannot be at the meeting. But she was, I think everybody knows, last year during the 5-year plan, there was a lot of discussion, and we actually prioritized some new road constructions with 347 as well as 260 because of the safety concerns we had, and we pushed some of the pavement preservation projects off. In a large part because there's quite often opportunities throughout the year to add pavement preservation projects back in, and that we do appreciate the ADOT staff and the process to take a look at those and prioritize even those roads. And one of the projects in this group of lots of projects that we're going to hopefully approve here shortly is that final one. So all the projects that were moved out of the 5-year plan for pavement preservation in order to enhance some safety and expansion projects have now also been funded through this PPAC process. It's an important process throughout the year, and I give the P2P committee a lot of credit because they've obviously been looking at a lot of these things, and it's good to see this many projects, 347s in there, as well as a lot of the trucking expansion for the parking slots for the trucking, which has been a big issue that's been expressed to us throughout. So I do believe there's a lot of good things in these motions. So is there any item that any member would like to pull from this and address separately?
Two more.
Are you going to go with 2 motions?
No, I would like to have the 2 more items you had that I have a response
Oh,
for.
we've got more questions from member Elton.
So item 8F, which is Big Dim Wash Bridge. This project will be advertised October 2026 in a couple of months. Okay. And this project is reconstruction to a 4-lane divided highway, and this specific request is for right-of-way, as you can see. And the final response about 800, which is Hoover Dam Householder Pass. So we are initiating the design in 2026, and the construction is expected to be 2029.
Absolutely. Any other members have any questions on the PPAC projects or proposal? Okay, hearing none. Is there a motion to approve PPAC project modifications and new projects item 8A through 8EEE as presented?
Mr. Chairman, a motion to approve project mods as well as the new projects 8A through 8EEE, including the corrections to 8WW as presented.
Can I get a second? Second. All right, so I have a motion by member Elters, a second by member Giles. Oh, sorry. Apologize, Doug. I heard a voice come from down from that side. So a second by member Coleman. I appreciate both of you on the previous nominations. So, any further discussion? All those in favor, please vote by stating aye. 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 Any opposed? All right. The motion carries as amended.
Thank you.
And with that, we will move on to item 9. And thank you, Ed Paul, for all the work. Move on to item 9, the State Engineers Report with Audrey Merrick for information and discussion.
You broke it. Good thing you're an engineer.
I shouldn't have touched it, I guess. Oh, let's do it this way. Keep it easy. So good morning or afternoon, whatever time zone we're looking at right now at the moment. Chairman Maxwell, members of the board. My name is Audrey Merrick, Deputy Director, State Engineer, and I have item number 9, the State Engineer's report for you today with our April 2026 data. We have 112 projects under construction, totaling $2.8 billion. 4 projects have been finalized in April at $26.7 million. And in fiscal year to date, we have 76 projects that we finalized. Next slide, please. Just to touch upon a few of our project highlights from each of the districts. Next slide. So over in the Northwest District, we have the Sanctuary Road project on I-40. We have the Sanctuary Road to I-40 project on US 93, which is a pavement preservation project that started in January. They have completed the curb, gutter, sidewalk on the Beale Street area and are now working on the guardrail and concrete barrier work. And then over on Rancho Santa Fe Parkway, we're expecting this to be complete this fall. And then on the bottom of the slide, down there are Morristown to Wickenburg. This is a pavement rehab project, and we're just awaiting the final striping on that project. So that will be finishing up here shortly too as well. Next slide. Here in the North Central District, we didn't have a district report. I think it's coming back to this district sometime later this fall. And so today I really just wanted to highlight one of the closer projects to the Cameron area, which is the Tuba City East project, which is on US 160. It's a pavement preservation project. The project just started work. It begins in Tuba City and extends east about 13 miles. It's a mill and fill project with a chip seal on top. The contractor will soon complete about 4,200 linear feet of guardrail, as you can see in the photo that I wedged in there. And then they'll start the pipe extensions after that. We do expect paving to begin sometime in June, and then the work is expected to complete this fall. Next slide. Over in the Northeast District, I just wanted to touch upon the top project, which is the Perkins Valley Bridge Widening Project. This is a bridge widening and deck replacement project. So we have the new girders have been set, so they're in place, and we're just working on the bridge deck work now. And then at the bottom of the slide, there's that Town of Eager Hawk Crossing project, and we have the concrete work on that complete. And we're expecting that to be complete this summer. I think they're waiting on a pole or a piece of equipment or something like that. Next slide. Down in the Southwest District, to think about where I'm standing at the moment, down in the Southwest District, let's look at the US 95 Imperial Road Aberdeen Road project, which is the second project from the top. This is a pavement preservation project, and we're constructing some roundabouts. You heard one of the public comments earlier today on this project supporting it. The contractor is currently preparing subgrade, installing pipes, along with some new right-of-way fence. And then bottom project, which is Cesar Chavez Boulevard project. The contractor is busy with pipe installation, earthwork, and placing AB. Next slide. In the Southwest District, I really just wanted to bring your attention to the I-19 Irvington TI project, which is in the center of the slide. You'll see this one shortly under new contracts. And then right under that one, yes, the project below it is the I-10 Amole Railroad Overpass westbound, eastbound deck replacement, tongue twister. And they're halfway done with that project. They expect that to be complete this fall. Next slide. Over in the Southeast District, we have 3 projects that are nearing completion. The top 2 are passing lane projects. The Medicine Way project, we've completed culvert extensions and the paving work. Remaining work is a micro seal and then some pavement markings with an estimated completion of next month.
And then the County Road 220 to Yellow Jacket. That's a westbound passing lane project. The paving and guardrail are complete on that one, with the remaining work being a final layer, of course, and then, of course, some striping on top of that. And that's estimated to be complete in June as well. And then that last project is a pavement rehab project on US 70 from milepost 335 to 340. And on this project, we have some remaining work of raising utility covers and some final pavement markings. So that will be complete in July of 2026. Next slide. And then lastly, for the Central District, we have the I-17 303 to 51st Avenue project, and that project is moving quickly with earthwork 40% complete, and they're starting on the bridge work as well. And then that third one down, the US 60 Sossaman to Meridian project, the asphalt work on that is 90% complete, and all other work is 99% complete, so this project is anticipated to be complete this month. So you'll see that kind of roll off this list. And then additionally, the mainline work is approximately 80% complete for the 202 Val Vista to the State Route 101 project. And then we've just held pre-con partnering meetings for the State Route 303 MC85 to Van Buren and the I-10 State Route 101 project. And that actually completes item number 9.
All right. All right, anybody have any questions on the engineer's report? Okay, thank you. We can move right into the construction contracts.
Okay, so moving on to item 10, new construction projects. So this slide shows 10 construction projects that were open for this month. The top 7 were on the consent agenda, 3F through 3L, and thank you for that. And then we have the last 3 projects, which are the new construction projects, 10A through 10B. Looking at the very bottom of the slide, for the total this month, we ran 3.8% over the department estimate. Next slide. And here are those monthly totals. You can see those May totals and that 3.8% I just mentioned on the second to the lowest line. On the bottom of the slide, fiscal year to date, we're still under our department estimate by 11.1%. And again, today we have 3 projects listed under item 10, 10A through 10C. And with that, Chairman Maxwell, how would you like me to proceed with those 3?
Well, I've got one question first on 3F. That's the one that was approved on the consent agenda. And I noticed that we've got a memo at the very back of our package today. So that is using what you call a modern or different technique for the pricing, and that's the guaranteed maximum price project on that one.
That's the CMAR project, Jackrabbit, on I-10.
That's the I-10 CMAR Jackrabbit project. Correct. And so that first GMP one, which was approved under consent agenda, was for demolition and removal of the Chevron gas station.
Okay. All right. I didn't know if we needed to take any action or if they were aligned. Looks like they're the same as approved under consent. Okay.
Yep.
That sounds good. I'm good addressing all 3 of these with a single motion if everybody's comfortable. 2 of them are under estimate, and the one that's over is the Irvington Road, which you already kind of alluded to and talked about. I wanted, that being in my district, I wanted to thank ADOT for being flexible and working with the district down there, the South Central District, their leadership. This is one that's going to have a significant impact on a major business driver in the southern part of the Pima County region, and that it's been delayed and moved about trying to minimize that impact and get everything that's necessary down there. And so I appreciate all the hard work, and it did come in above contract, but that, or above the original estimates, but that could have both with the delays and some of the other changes that were made. But it's greatly appreciated by the community, the amount of interaction and involvement that the staff took to help move that project forward.
If I may on that item,
Absolutely.
for 10B, just for awareness, there were 2 bids on that project, and the low bid was 24.6% over. And then the second was 26.6% over. So
Yes, so they were very, on the spectrum of the project that large, the bids were very close to the same. Member Bracker.
My comment on that project also is the people who live in southern Arizona, on the southern part of I-19, also appreciate the work that ADOT has done on that. Traffic is moving through Tucson is getting really, really difficult for people to move to the southern part of the state, and so getting Irvington completed is the next piece of the puzzle to getting people home safely to Saladita and also to Nogales.
So does anybody have any other questions for Audra on this? Hearing none, is there a motion to award items 10A and 10C as presented?
10A through 10C.
10A through, sorry, not 10A.
Yeah.
Good catch. 10A through 10C.
Thank you, sir.
that would have been interesting.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve 10A, 10B, and 10C as presented.
Okay, I have a motion from Member Elters to approve 10A, 10B, and 10C as presented, and a second by Member Bracker. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the 10A through 10C passes unanimously.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, members of the board.
Thank you, Audrey.
All right, anybody have any agenda item 11 suggestions for follow-on meetings?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I don't have a suggestion, but I do have a comment. Actually, I suggest Cameron for the next couple So I just want to say I forgot to give you some vital local information when we started the meeting. And this is for my colleagues and those that have never been to Cameron before. Northern Arizona is home to many diverse populations, including many indigenous people that consider a lot of these locations and what are like the Grand Canyon is the place of origin and creation for the Hopi people, is a sacred site for many indigenous people all throughout the West. And then also in Navajo, we call it Bedot Haskin, meaning it's, I don't know how to translate it, but when I envision the words and think of that location, it's like the edge of the world. So if you ever go to the canyon and there's an inversion of the clouds and the clouds are below the rim, you feel like you're at the edge of the world. So I think that's where the name comes from. I hope no anthropologists start calling me. So the Colorado River runs right through the area, and then the Little Colorado River. And so we're home to diverse communities. And so I'm going to do a pitch for Northern Arizona for staycation sites. So our very own vice president at the Cameron chapter has a Hogan Airbnb site. If you want to stay in a Hogan with no electricity and running water and use a kerosene lamp and cook with a open fire, Shana Yaz is the person to see. And actually, Will Ferrell stayed there. So, and he has a documentary that he put out that he was there. And then also we have local places to eat, like the Yummy Shack, which is a roadside stand. And I rose to this rank here at the State Board of Transportation. I started my humble beginnings selling beadwork along the highways and selling Navajo tacos. So Cameron is a great place to grow up. And so I just want to say, visit our small businesses, our jewelry stands, and welcome to Northern Arizona and the indigenous people's country. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, appreciate that insight. Any other suggestions for future meetings? The one thing I would ask, though, go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Chair. First of all, I had a delightful night in Cameron last night, and the Navajo taco I had for dinner, it will be a memorable meal. I'll be lying on my deathbed, I'm thinking about that now. I was I thought the call to the public today was pretty significant. Obviously, a lot of comments, and I would just to be responsive to those. I know that it's not on our agenda for discussion, and I don't want to engage in discussion about those topics, but particularly, I thought I have had the privilege of visiting Mayor Budge in Bisbee and having him drive me around that community, and I have a real appreciation for the challenge there, where that community is split, but by a highway and by an open pit mine, and the Bisbee Lavender Pit shared use path that they were discussing. I think a lot of us think of shared use paths as being luxuries, being things that are nice to have, but in this situation, it really is an essential part of the transportation plan for that community. So, the reason I'm kind of underlining it is because there is some urgency here. If this isn't resolved by July, they lose that grant money. So I would just hope that, and I know that ADOT staff is working right now with Bisbee staff to try to bring down costs and save that project. But I would just make an official request that we do respond to the mayor and before our next meeting, or if that's not possible, that it be considered as an agenda item in June so that we can keep this at the top of our list of things to talk about. And the other thing that I heard during Call to the Public that I thought was pretty compelling, last night and this morning, staying in Cameron, I was struck by how many French and German-speaking people that I was with. And that's been my same impression every time I visited the Grand Canyon. I look around and wonder if I'm in Europe or not. And one of the suggestions from the public today was that we ought to have some signage to accommodate our European tourists. They're a significant part of the economy, and I think if they were alerted to the fact that they need to be mindful and respectful of being in other people's communities, I think that would be a wonderful idea. So I am going to throw out the suggestion that perhaps in partnership with the tourism dollars that the state has, that we consider how to better communicate with European tourists. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, I want to, since I'm here in camera, I'm going to throw this out too. That's very true. And every winter and sometimes, well, all year round, our Cameron Emergency Response Team is always responding to a lost tourist in the forest somewhere, trying to take a shortcut from Tusayan or Valley out this way. So we do have a lot of tourism, and that's what we appreciate here in northern Arizona. The communities and a lot of folks locally do have ADOT jobs, and so I speak for them for their ADOT jobs, and then also the extra volunteer work and use of resources from other communities in order to save these tourists that get lost.
All right, I think Cameron's making a pretty hard pitch for being a repeat site. But again, I think that's demonstrative of why we do what we do. We travel and get around the state and see communities and regions that maybe otherwise we wouldn't be exposed to it. You really learn a lot, not just about the roadway and the infrastructure system, but about the communities themselves. I would echo what Member Giles said about if there's going to be some changes while you're communicating with some of the elected officials or some of the other people on what those might be, is please keep us informed. Only because, as we found last year at the meeting where we were going to approve the plan, we ended up going into executive session to talk about things. It'd be good to know before that meeting what kind of things we may be discussing to make tweaks, we'll call them tweaks, to the 5-year plan before we actually put it forward for approval. So this is an important month for both members of the board to be communicating with the staff as well. And if anybody else had anything else they heard today that you really want to make sure is at least being considered, make sure you reach out to Hunter or Iqbal or Floyd. You just can't get away, can you? So,
It's been a pleasure to serve and continue to serve.
well, we appreciate.
Do you want the watch back? I've been holding off asking that because I really like having that, but I feel guilty.
That could be that's yours. Well,
I feel a little
well
guilty.
earned, but we do appreciate the amount of work that the staff goes through, especially in times where there's change and turnover and a lot of things. And again, today's meeting with the size of the quality audience, the participation of people in the community, it really was eventful. And now that when I look at the clock, I go, we're an hour and 10 minutes past the time we're supposed to be done, but I know it's only 10 minutes. Nobody else has anything? I officially adjourn the May Arizona State Transportation Board meeting. Thank you, everybody.